Family Immortal Cultivation. Starting as a spiritual farmer, this video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 976, Dragon Abyss Dragon King reaching Yin-Yang. Dao, I will return to the market first. If you have any questions in the future, please come to the market to find me. Deputy Master Zhang Hong said this and flew away outside the Qingshi Mountains. Ling Pengyun looked at the powerful clouds and mists around Qingshi Mountain, hesitated for a while, and followed a passage to enter Qingshi Mountain. The spiritual energy in Qingshi Mountain is strong, dozens of times stronger than the spiritual energy in ordinary places in the Qingshi Mountains. There is at least one fourth level spiritual vein in the mountain. This mountain is also different from the surrounding spiritual mountains. Although this spiritual mountain is large, there are only a few sparsely populated houses. Other places are also covered by the clouds and mists created by the fourth level formation in the mountain. From time to time, some key training, foundation building, and even giant and monks wearing Qingshi Taoist robes will walk out of the clouds and mist. Through the passageway that the cultivators had walked out of, Ling Pengyun could see that the rest of the land covered by the clouds in the mountain was actually spiritual fields, and they were single attribute thunder spiritual fields, and they were planted with various thunder attribute spiritual plants. In addition, Ling Pengyun could also vaguely see that in the clouds around those spiritual fields, there were constantly thunders coming out and being absorbed by those spiritual plants, which was extremely strange. Perhaps because of this, the thunder attribute spiritual plants in those spiritual fields were growing very well. Seeing this, Ling Pengyun's eyes trembled slightly, and he began to re-examine the fourth level middle grade formation in this mountain that had transformed into countless clouds and mists. Growing plants with thunder is a superb method of cultivating spiritual plants, but thunder will not appear out of thin air. I'm afraid that the fourth level formation in this mountain is the same as the thunder attracting and delivering formation in the Poten Peak of the Kanglan Baha'i sect. They are both thunder attributed formations and have the ability to attract thunder. I just don't know which one is stronger. But it seems that this Qingshi Taoist alliance will rent out formations to help cultivators from outside to resist the thunder. I'm afraid it's for this reason, and it's not what people say. The Qingshi Taoist alliance is concerned about the development of the righteous path, so it does this. Ling Pengyun smiled and didn't think much about it. Everyone has selfish desires. Although this Qingshi Taoist alliance did this for its own benefit, it also benefited those scattered cultivators in the Zhangzhouxiuxin world who were weak and had no means to resist the thunder, but had the ability to impact the golden elixir. There are quite a few such cultivators. Then, Ling Pengyun quickened his pace and followed the formation master Su Xiang in front of him and climbed to the top of the Thunder Mountain. The top of this mountain is a huge flat land without any buildings, but in the center of the flat land, there is also a small area covered by the clouds and mist created by the formation, making it difficult to see what is inside. Fellow Taoist, call out your spirit beast and let it retreat here. If you want to set up additional formations, you can do so. It's up to you. The old formation master Su Xiang said to Ling Pengyun at this time. Ling Pengyun nodded and patted the beast controlling bag on his waist. Suddenly, the huge figure of the Dragon Abyss Flood King, which was more than 100 feet in size, appeared on the top of this mountain. Fortunately, this mountain is large, and the flat land on the top of the mountain is more than 200 feet, otherwise it would be difficult to accommodate the Dragon Abyss Flood King. When the old formation master Su Xiang saw that the spirit beast summoned by Ling Pengyun was actually a dragon in the realm of golden elixir perfection, he was immediately shocked. Flood dragons are rare existences. Even if they are just newly transformed dragons and have low dragon blood, the worst 5th grade dragons have greater potential and stronger strength than ordinary monsters. Fellow Taoist is so lucky to have a dragon as a spiritual beast. Master Su Xiang said enviously. It's just luck. Ling Pengyun said simply. Then, he summoned a quasi-4th level formation that he had prepared long ago and arranged it on the top of the mountain. When the formation was formed, a cloud of mist also covered the Dragon Abyss Dragon King. It was difficult to see the figure of the Dragon Abyss Dragon King from the outside. At this moment, the Dragon Abyss Dragon King also closed his eyes at ease and began to retreat. Ling Pengyun, who had just arranged the formation, sat quietly with Master Su Xiang. There was no conversation between the two, and they just kept waiting. It was not until 3 years later that there was movement in the quasi-fourth level formation that Ling Pengyun had arranged on the top of the mountain. A special wave of vibration came from the ground, and countless spiritual energy around it suddenly swarmed into the formation. Ling Pengyun and old man Su Xiang, who had been sitting quietly for a long time, also woke up and paid attention to the scene. Ling Pengyun's face was filled with expectation. The situation that had appeared now was that the Dragon Abyss Jiao King had condensed a trace of nascent soul spiritual power, which triggered the feedback of heaven and earth to infuse the body with spiritual energy to help him condense the nascent soul. If this step could be accomplished, it would trigger the thunderbolt. After surviving the thunderbolt, it would be the time of success. The Dragon Abyss Jiao King had promised him to help him 3 times. If the Dragon Abyss Jiao King could enter the nascent soul, then these 3 opportunities would be very useful. It was a pity that the Dragon Abyss Jiao King could not hold on the 5th day of the spiritual energy infusion. His breath was leaked, and the spiritual energy infusion phenomenon immediately dissipated. Ling Pengyun, who had been paying attention to this matter, sighed. The old formation master Su Xiang on the side also raised a bit of pity on his face. He waved his hand and took out $1 million resources that Ling Pengyun had given him before from the storage bag, returned them to Ling Pengyun, and said, "Go and collect the corpse of your spirit beast." But before he finished speaking, he let out a sigh and looked at the quasi-4th level formation where the Dragon Abyss Jiao King was. It's still alive. His family is rich and has prepared many kinds of Yin-Yang spirit objects. It's a pity that 2 good Yin-Yang spirit objects were wasted. At this time, Ling Pengyun also walked forward quickly and removed the quasi-4th level formation that was set up to protect the Dragon Abyss Jiao King during his retreat. The figure of the Dragon Abyss Jiao King also appeared. However, the Dragon Abyss Jiao King now looked extremely miserable. It lay on the ground weakly, and countless blood gushed out from the gaps between the countless blue scales on its body, dyeing all its scales red. It looked extremely miserable, and its breath was particularly weak. Its expression was full of regret and remorse, and even a trace of mist appeared in its eyes. Although this Jiao didn't say a word, Ling Pengyun could understand. The 2 quasi-4th level Zuanshan waters that this dragon used to save his life when he was attacking the nascent soul and after he failed to condense the nascent soul were extremely rare. At least within 10,000 years, the Beiyang Lake Jiaolong clan, where Longying Jiaoang was located, would not be able to gather so many spiritual objects. If there were a strong nascent soul master to protect them, with the financial resources of the Beiyang Lake Jiaolong clan, they would have a chance to buy them from the outside world. But without a strong nascent soul master, even if the clan was financially strong, they would not dare to interfere with the nascent soul objects. Once they touched them, they would be afraid that the nascent soul masters would come down and snatch them as soon as they bought the nascent soul spiritual objects. Under such circumstances, it means that Longying Jiao and consumed 2 nascent soul spiritual objects this time, which basically ruined the possibility of the Beiyang Lake Jiaolong clan becoming a nascent soul clan within 10,000 years. At the same time, Ling Pengyun also thought of his own future attack on the nascent soul realm. He, like him, only had 2 quasi-4th level Zuanshan waters on hand, so he didn't have to worry about saving his life. Chapter 977, Harvest at Xingaifang Market. However, because the effects of these 2 substances overlap, only one can be taken, which can only increase the probability of condensing the nascent soul by half. Adding other miscellaneous factors, his chance of impacting the nascent soul in the future is probably only about 10%. This success probability is equal to the success probability brought by Longying Jiaowang's 2nd grade Jiaolong bloodline. Longying Jiaowang, who has a 20% chance of impacting the nascent soul, failed, and his future path to the nascent soul is probably slim. For a moment, his expression also fell. It is as difficult as ascending to heaven to find another nascent soul spiritual object. I can only pin my hopes on the yin and yang primordial essence that will be condensed by 9 yin and yang primordial qi in a few years. Thinking of the primordial essence that requires 9 yin and yang primordial qi to condense, he felt more confident. After all, even the ordinary yin and yang primordial qi can bring him a lot of help. Even if his cultivation has reached the 8th level of the golden core, The improvement brought to him by the yin and yang primordial key is still of great help to his cultivation. At present, he has stored 8 breaths of yin-yang primordial qi. In a few years, he will be able to condense another breath, and then the 9 breaths of yin-yang primordial essence will be complete. Brother Long Yuan, it's good to be alive. Put it in my beast bag. We should go. Ling Pengyun sighed after retracting his distracting thoughts. The still sad and depressed Long Yuan Jiao Wang heard this and shook his head lightly without making a sound. Ling Pengyun also raised his hand and put it into the beast bag on his waist. The old formation master Su Xiong saw that Ling Pengyun was not in a good mood, so he kindly comforted him. It is extremely difficult to reach the nascent soul stage. In my life, I have seen no less than 5 cultivators or spirit beasts come to this mountain to try to reach the nascent soul stage, but no one succeeded. And the only one who can save his life with a spare nascent soul spirit is your spirit beast. The spirit beast of yours lasted a long time during the period of spiritual energy infusion. As long as your spirit beast spends some time to heal its injuries, its strength will definitely increase greatly, at least far exceeding the strength of the previous golden core perfection, and it can be regarded as entering the pseudo-infant realm. By then, it will be considered a good hand. If the nascent soul does not come out, few people can defeat it, and it can also gallop for a while. The Taoist's mind is giving orders. Ling Pengyun forced a smile and said a simple sentence. The old formation master Su Xiong did not say anything more and sent Ling Pengyun out of the Zhangai Mountains. Ling Pengyun also followed and rushed to the nearby Zhangai market. Ling Yanhuang and others were still waiting in Zhangai market. At this moment, deep in the Zhangai Mountains, in a cave on the top of a sacred mountain, a deep gaze was watching Ling Pengyun's departure. A dragon with the strength of a second-grade bloodline. It's rare. He has tried to break through to the nascent soul once. If he breaks through to the nascent soul again in the future, his chances of success will be a little higher. It's a pity that this person actually has the aura left by other nascent soul fellows. It seems that the dragon can't be handled. Otherwise, if I can get it to cultivate it, I can have a nascent soul dragon to help me in the future, which is not bad. I just don't know which nascent soul fellow the cultivator is the descendant of. I guess the dragon is also the spirit beast under the command of that fellow. After the words fell, the deep gaze looked at Ling Pengyun a few more times, and then retracted his gaze. Not long after. Zhangai Fang Market. The area of caves that can be rented. In a golden elixir cave. Pengyun, did Brother Long Yun's matter go smoothly? The clan patriarch Ling Yunhong saw Ling Pengyun, who had gone to the Zhangai Alliance to find an opportunity for Long Yun Jiaoang to enter the nascent soul stage, return, and asked with anticipation. Yam Sidai, Ling Chengsha, Ling Pengyun and other Ling family giants who were also here, at this moment, all looked expectantly at Ling Pengyun. The matter of using the formation to resist the thunder was smooth, but Brother Long Yun's luck was not good and the matter of impacting the nascent soul stage, failed. But Brother Long Yun saved his life and was fine. Ling Pengyun said with a little helplessness. When everyone heard this, their faces all fell, and sighs were heard one after another. Although Long Yun Jiaoang was not a member of the Ling family, the two parties were now related because of the reconstruction of the White Shadow sect. If Long Yun Jiaoang could enter the nascent soul stage, it would also be indirectly beneficial to the Ling family. At least, the White Shadow secret realm would be safer in the future. That's good. At least we don't have to worry about fellow Taoist Long Yuan finding a way to dissolve the Yuan Han contract we signed in the past after he entered the nascent soul stage, and then occupying the spiritual veins of the Shuangtao Valley in the secret realm, or even occupying the secret realm. Ling Yanhong said. They dare not. I have the method to enter and exit the secret realm, and I have also been recognized by the positioning and seeking immortals formation in the secret realm. As long as something happens to me, even if the monsters in the secret realm have the method to enter and exit the secret realm, it will be difficult for them to leave the secret realm, and the monsters in the outside world will also find it difficult to enter the secret realm. Ling Pengyun didn't take this matter too seriously and smiled. The positioning and seeking immortals formation in the secret realm was arranged by the ancestors of the White Shadow sect, and the arranger was also a human race. The formation naturally had a good impression of Ling Pengyun, who was also a cultivator. Ha, I didn't think of this. It's good to have insurance. Ling Yanhong said with a smile. By the way, Grandpa Yanhong, have you found any good things in Zhangai market in the past 3 years? Ling Pengyun asked. When he mentioned this, Ling Yunhong's face lit up with joy. He immediately began to talk about it in detail. This Zhengyi market is indeed the only super-large market in Hangzhou's immortal cultivation world. Rare spiritual objects in the outside world are extremely common here, especially a year ago, when this market held an auction every 10 years. The precious spiritual objects inside were so dazzling that my eyes were dazzled. At that auction, there were as many as 5 golden elixir spiritual objects alone. You should know that this is only an auction held once every 10 years, which is several times larger than the century-long auction held by our Ling family. Even the major Yuanying forces in the immortal cultivation world in the boundless sea can only compare with them at an auction held once every 50 or 100 years. At that time, we had some spare spirit stones on hand, so Sai and I auctioned off 2 ordinary golden elixir spiritual objects, Zhengyi spirit water, which were of unprecedented value. According to the auctioneer, this spiritual water was refined by the alchemists of the Zhengyi Taoist alliance with various precious materials, and it can increase the probability of a cultivator reaching the golden elixir by 10%. It cost nearly 700,000 spirit stones. We also bought a lot of spiritual materials that can be used to refine third-level treasure pills. We even bought 2 of the fortune purple cloud pill, which can be used to refine the miasma-breaking treasure pill. They are both of the 3rd level lower grade. I gave them to Changxin and Penglin to take. They have very strong foundations and are close to bottlenecks. Now they are in the 2 quiet rooms in this cave, refining pills to break through the realm. It is estimated that after this retreat, they can all improve their cultivation. After talking for a long time, Ling Yunhong stopped. Ling Pengyun was pleasantly surprised that Ling Yunhong and others could buy such a good item as the fortune purple cloud treasure pill. Ling Changxin and Ling Penglin are both the older generation of Jindan in the family. They entered the Jindan realm before the last monster rebellion. It has been 70 or 80 years since they entered the Jindan realm. Ling Changxin, the family's 3rd level alchemist, actually has a pretty good cultivation speed. With a large amount of elixirs he has refined and countless wealth, his current cultivation has reached the peak of the 2nd level of the golden core. It is not easy for an ordinary golden core cultivator to reach the 2nd level of the golden core in such a short time. Chapter 978, The Little Demon Rebellion in Yan State. As for Ling Penglin, she was stronger. When she was trying to enter the golden elixir in her early years, she got the help of Ling Pengyun's yin and yang primordial key. After she successfully entered the golden elixir, she got the opportunity to realize the truth, and her understanding of cultivation was greatly improved. After many years, her cultivation reached the peak of the 3rd level of the golden elixir, which was close to the middle stage of the golden elixir. If she had not spent most of her energy on the formation in recent years, she would have entered the middle stage of the golden elixir early. And the 2 of them had the help of spiritual objects, such as the creation purple cloud treasure pill, and they would definitely be able to improve their cultivation by 1 level. This is a great benefit for the family. You know, Ling Changxin and Ling Penglin are both 100 arts practitioners. Once their cultivation is improved, Ling Changxin's success rate in refining the 3rd level low-grade elixir will definitely increase. The formation arranged by Ling Penglin, a 3rd level middle-grade formation master, will also be stronger. Then, everyone chatted for a few more words, and then began to wait for Ling Changxin and Ling Penglin, who were in seclusion, to come out in this cave. The reason why they didn't return to the clan land in advance was that this place was this Hangzhou world after all, and there were many powerful people. Every Jindan in the family was the lifeblood of Ling Pengyun. He didn't want Ling's Jindan to have any accidents, so it was better to stay by his side and return to the family together. Otherwise, if they were allowed to return to the family alone, once an accident happened, the development of the Ling family would be delayed by at least hundreds of years. During this period, Ling Pengyun also asked the Flame Demon Wolf King, a Jindan perfection monster that also left the secret realm this time, whether he wanted to attack the nascent soul. The Flame Demon Wolf King knew that Lingxiao King had failed to attack the nascent soul and almost lost his life, so he naturally didn't dare to mention it again. He also stayed in Ling Pengyun's beast bag to refine the formation. He also told Ling Pengyun to take it back when the secret realm was opened again, 60 years later. Without the heart to attack the nascent soul, the Flame Demon Wolf King actually had no nostalgia for the Zeuxin world. The Dragon Abyss Jiao King, who failed to break through the nascent soul, also had the same idea and planned to return to the secret realm after 60 years. During this period, they did not want to go out to avoid trouble. Time passed slowly. 2 years later. One day, alchemist Ling Changsan and array master Ling Pengyun successfully broke through the bottleneck and were able to leave. After Ling Pengyun and others simply congratulated them, they used the teleportation array of Xingaifang City to return to the family. They had been away from home for 5 years. The family was at a time when their strength was empty, and they were close to the chaos of monsters. If they continued to delay, the family would be in danger. The return journey was smooth, but it took a long time. It took more than half a year for the group to arrive at the northern wilderness Xiuxin realm. Ling Pengyun, a fire method in the middle stage of the golden core, and Ling Pengyun, a fake dantian, did not dare to delay, and also parted with Ling Pengyun and others, secretly concealing their breath and returning to the boundless sea area Xiuxin realm. After all, compared to the family, the position of the Fire Dragon sect branch in the Mingshu Sea area, one of the 36 sea areas in the Wubian Sea Xiuxin realm, and the Shanhai Jin clan branch in the Muiwen Sea area are more unstable. There are many covetous forces around the two branches. Looking at the two branches, Ling Pengyun and his party continued to return to Yan State, and it took several months before they finally arrived at the family's clan. Ling Pengyun also directly found the new giant in Ling Changping, who was in charge of the family's territory, and asked about the family's recent situation. But this question made Ling Pengyun and even Ling Yunhuang and others look gloomy. It was because in the past 2 years, many disciples of the Xuanqi sect, one of the 3 Yuanying demon sects in the eastern demon realm of the northern wilderness Xiuxin realm, made trouble in various places of the Ling family. Although there were no giant and demon cultivators, there were too many key training and foundation building demon cultivators, and the disciples of this demon sect were proficient in corpse refining and were extremely powerful. In just 2 years, the Ling family lost at least hundreds of thousands of mortals, and even hundreds of cultivators were killed or injured. You know, the number of mortals who died is enough to equal the number of several foundation building clans, and the number of cultivators is enough to equal the number of cultivators of a foundation building family. Such casualties are already serious, and the remaining tens of thousands of cultivators of the Ling family have become somewhat panicked. Even the business of the various markets in the Ling family's territory has declined a lot because of this. Although Ling Changping has investigated this matter, those demon cultivators are really good at hiding, and there may be powerful giant and demon cultivators behind them. This also led to Ling Changping repeatedly tracking down demon cultivators, but only caught a dozen small key training demon cultivators. In desperation, Ling Changping had to take out a lot of talismans from the clan library to distribute to the clan members who needed to go out for self-defense, and led a team of 50 people composed of foundation-building cultivators to patrol the Ling family's territory together. This method did make the demon cultivators in the Ling family's territory restrained a little, but from time to time, demon cultivators still appeared during patrol breaks, destroying the mortals in the Ling family village and attacking the Ling family cultivators who went out. The number of casualties was only 70% to 80% less than before. It is also worth mentioning that the other 3 major giant forces in Yan State, Bailing Sect, Yaowang Valley, and the Qingshi Taoist Temple were also invaded by this demon sect, and it was 1 or 2 years earlier than the Ling family. According to Ling Changping's guess, the Xuanqi sect sent people to cause chaos 2 years ago, probably because they were worried about the many giant in the family. However, after several attempts, the Xuanqi sect probably found that it was difficult for the family's giant to appear, so it sent many demon cultivators to officially enter the family's territory to cause chaos 2 years ago. Speaking of which, the demon cultivators of the Xuanqi sect had dealt with the Ling family during the last monster beast rebellion. At that time, the Xuanqi sect sent several giant and demon cultivators to cooperate with some monsters under the Yuanying monster clan, the Red Gold Bear clan, to attack the Yan state. At that time, Ling Pengyun was targeted by the giant and demon cultivators of the Xianxi sect because of his good qualifications. They wanted to destroy the Xuanxian demon corpse that Ling Pengyun used to refine the powerful superior demon corpse. Fortunately, at that time, Ling Pengyun had a quasi-4th level spiritual talisman given by his master, the true man of Bishu, and the thunder-attracting and destroying array in the treading cloud valley that could turn the thunder into his own use, which helped him resolve the crisis at that time. Over the years, my clan has been afraid that this sect is the Yuanying demon sect, and has never dared to avenge the past. Now, this demon sect has become arrogant and dared to harm my clan. They really deserve to be killed. Dad, my life-saving magic weapon, the Yin-Yang Huaxun treasure mirror, is very effective in detecting demon cultivators. Give me a group of foundation-building clan members, and I will check all the territory of the clan, and I will definitely crush all the demon cultivators who are causing trouble to ashes. Ling Qingsha, who already hated the demon cultivators and was always decisive in killing, said angrily. Ling Pengyun and Yan Sidai, who was standing by, saw the scene and were relieved. What they feared most was that Ling Qingsha would not take responsibility. Okay, I'll leave this to you. You will be in charge of the group of 50 foundation-building cultivators that Chengping led to patrol. Bring Feng Yingpeng with you as well. There is also a 6th-level giant and demon corpse in this storage bag. You should be able to control it. If you encounter one that you cannot defeat, run first and don't fight blindly. Ling Pengyun took out a beast-controlling bag and a storage bag from his arms and threw them to Ling Qingsha. Seeing this, Ling Qingsha felt warm in his heart, and a hint of tenderness appeared on his murderous face. I know, Dad. One more day of demon cultivators will be a disaster. I will leave immediately and go to search for demon cultivators. After saying that, he left a meeting place and went to look for the 50 foundation-building patrolling tribesmen who were resting in the tribe. Today is the day of rest for the patrol of 3 times a month. It is for this reason that the 50 foundation-building members of the clan patrol team in Ling Chengping, the newly promoted Jiandan, are in the clan. After watching Ling Qingsha leave, Ling Pengyun's face became more solemn, and then he said to everyone, "The monster beast rebellion is coming." This time, the Xuanxi sect sent a lot of low-level disciples to our clan's territory and the territory of other Jiandan forces belonging to Yan state to cause chaos and kill the cultivators and mortals of our forces. The significance is probably not simple. I am afraid that in 5 years, when the monster beast rebellion is 100 years later, the Xuanxi sect, as a Yuanying demon sect, will once again join forces with the Red Gold Bear clan, a Yuanying clan adjacent to our Yan state, to attack our Yan state. Period. In the remaining 5 years before the monster beast rebellion is coming, you should all practice well. I am afraid that the monster beast rebellion 5 years later will be another hard battle. Ling Yanhuang and others heard this and nodded in response. Chapter 979 Ling Qingsha's expertise. After that, everyone discussed some other things, and then they all returned to their respective places. Ling Yanhong, the patriarch of the family and a 3rd-level middle-grade alchemist, and Ling Chengxin, who had just entered the 3rd level of the golden elixir and was a 3rd-level lower-grade alchemist, entered the Lingxiao Mountain with the 3rd-level fire vein in the family's territory together, using the rich fire spirit energy in it to condense the spirit fire to make elixirs. The family's great elder Ling Pengyun handed over some family affairs to Ling Chengping, a new golden elixir who had been in charge of the family's territory for the past 5 years. After the handover, Ling Chengping returned to the Lingxiao Qiangxing Lake territory in the Baiyun Mountains of Yan State with her husband Lin Fan, who had entered the golden elixir more than 10 years earlier and was a quasi 3rd-level beastmaster. The family's great elder Ling Pengyun was in charge of the family's territory and managed the family's affairs. Ling Wanchuan, a quasi 3rd-level spiritual plant husband, was also in charge of the family's territory. He also had to take care of the various high-level spiritual plants planted in the clan's territory. With his current spiritual plant attainments, he could barely take care of the 3rd-level spiritual plants planted in the 3rd-level spiritual fields within the clan. Before Ling Pengyun left the clan, he went to find Ling Rana, who was practicing the way of talismans with the most powerful talisman master Wen Quan in the family. Ling Rana was the first child born to Ling Pengyun's junior brother Lin Luo, who was in the Kanglan Bahe sect and had a spiritual body that could pass talismans, and Ling Liqin, the most beautiful female cultivator in the family. In order to leave a descendant for their father Ling Wandel, Lin Luo and Ling Liqin left the child in the family and left him with Ling Wandel, and did not bring him back to the Kanglan Bahe sect. Ling Ranai not only inherited his mother Ling Liqin's extraordinary cultivation qualifications, but also inherited Lin Luo's strong talent for making talismans. For this reason, Ling Pengyun arranged for him to learn the way of talismans with Wen Quan, the quasi 3rd-level talisman master in the family, when he showed his talent for making talismans. Calculating the time, he has been practicing the talisman for 18 years, but he is not very old, only 20 or 21. He has grown into a gentleman with a very good temperament and good looks. He inherited his mother's appearance and fascinated many fairies from the outside world. When he was 2 or 3 years old, he began to practice Taoism. This is also a special case. After all, he used the 4th-level spirit testing formation of the Kanglan Baha'i sect to test his spiritual roots and advance. After many years, his cultivation has reached the initial stage of foundation building, and his talisman level has reached the 2nd-level lower level. He can already skillfully draw several 2nd-level lower-grade spiritual talismans. It is also worth mentioning that he and his family's heavenly spiritual root Lingxiao practice the same method, both of which are the Wuji Yaoshu Baodian, the talisman method of the middle stage nascent soul of the White Shadow sect. Moreover, as a talisman maker, he also sacrificed and refined the powerful life talisman Wuji Yaoshu Lingfu recorded in this treasure book. With the help of this talisman, his combat power is very good. After Ling Pengyun asked him to practice well, he returned to the Ice and Snow Valley in the Ice and Snow Forest with Yan Siai and the family's middle stage Jinden level spiritual tree Frost Spirit Tree. On the way, they also went to the Purple Scorpion Mountain with a 3rd-level spiritual vein in the Purple Scorpion Ridge. This spiritual mountain is quite special. It is not a private land, but a shared land of the 2 pseudo-Jinden clans Poi Liang clan and Pengyun Yang clan in the Purple Scorpion Ridge. This mountain has also been transformed by the 2 major families into a spiritual mountain for cultivation. There are a large number of cultivation caves in it for the cultivation of the 2 clans' cultivators. The Jinden of the 2 clans also cultivates in it on weekdays. After many years, there is still only one Jinden of the 2 clans, Liang Mingtu, the fake Dan of the Liang family, and Yang Siki of the Yang family. The 2 did not dare to be arrogant in front of Ling Pengyun and his wife, and they kept their status very low. They received them personally and prepared good tea. Then, they took the opportunity to ask Ling Pengyun and his wife for help. In the past 2 years, if we say that the place where the little demons are the most rampant is the territory of their 2 clans. After all, each of their 2 clans has only one Jinden cultivator, and their foundation is not strong, and the strength of their cultivators is not as good as the Ling family cultivators with many inheritances. This has led to their 2 clans being targeted by the Xuanqi sect cultivators. In the past 2 years, the number of demon cultivators who invaded their 2 clans' territory is at least 500. Moreover, those Jinden demon cultivators who dare not show up in the territory of other Jinden forces even dared to show up in their 2 clans' territory to stop them from chasing the low-level demon cultivators who were causing trouble. It can be said that they were extremely rampant, and they were just short of attacking their clan mountain. For this reason, in just 2 years, at least more than 300 cultivators of their clans died tragically, and nearly 1 million mortals were killed and injured. The mortals of their 2 clans suffered heavy losses. During this period, they also asked for help from the Ling family, but they were all rejected by Ling Chengping on the pretext that Ling Pengyun and other family Jinden were in seclusion and could not help. The 2 were angry, but seeing that Ling Pengyun and others had not shown up in the past 2 years to deal with the demon cultivators in their own territory, they probably guessed that Ling Pengyun and others were out and not in Yan state. Otherwise, if the Ling family Jinden took action, I am afraid that those Jinden demon cultivators would not dare to enter the territory of their 2 clans. Under such circumstances, Liang Mingtu, the head of the Liang family in the Falstan realm, and Yang Siki, the head of the Yang family in the 2nd Jinden realm, could only admit that they were unlucky and prayed in their hearts that Ling Pengyun and others could return as soon as possible. Now, seeing that Ling Pengyun and his wife took the initiative to find them, they naturally wanted to seize this opportunity to seek the help of the Ling family to destroy the demons. In order to get Ling Pengyun and his wife to agree, the 2 clans even offered a full benefit of 30,000 spiritual stones each, and the 2 families together had 60,000 spiritual stones. Ling Pengyun did not respond immediately, but first used the communication mirror to find Ling Chengsha, who led the clan members to search for the demon cultivators in the family territory, and asked for his opinion. Ling Chengsha was not proficient in all kinds of skills, and it was just the time when he lacked cultivation resources. This time, in order to destroy the demons, the Liang family and the Pengyun Yang family offered a lot of benefits. In addition, it was just to destroy some low-level demon cultivators, so Ling Chengsha agreed to it. He also made a promise with Liang Mingtu, the fake elixir of the Liang family, and Yang Siki, the golden elixir of the Pengyun Yang family, that they would come to the territory of Zixi Ridge within 3 months, and then eliminate the demon cultivators who were causing trouble in Zixi Ridge within a month. Liang Ming to Yang Siki were very happy to hear this. Although they didn't know where Ling Changsha got the confidence from to be able to eliminate the demon cultivators who were hidden so deeply in the territory of Zixi Ridge so quickly. But Ling Changsha was the descendant of two powerful golden elixirs, Ling Pengyun and Yan Sidai. Inexplicably, they had an inexplicable sense of trust in Ling Changsha. Then, Ling Pengyun and his wife chatted with him for a few more words about other things, and then left this area and returned to the Ice and Snow Valley in the Ice and Snow Forest, which had a third-grade upper-grade ice spirit vein. The two elders Ling Xiaoshan and Yang Qiuyan, as well as Ling Changxin and Ling Lihao, who had a natural spirit root, who were in this valley, also sensed the return of Ling Pengyun and his wife and advanced through the third-grade valley protection formation of the Ice and Snow Valley. They were still waiting at the entrance of the Ice and Snow Valley as they did in the early years to welcome Ling Pengyun and his wife back. The two parties soon met. Chapter 980 Daughter Ling Changxin builds foundation. 5 years have passed. The white hair on the heads of the two old men, Ling Xiaoshan and Yang Qiuyan, has increased. However, their cultivation has entered the 8th level of foundation building, and they are not far from the perfect foundation building. Ling Changxin's figure has also grown bigger. Even her loose Taoist robe can hardly hide her curvy figure. Her face looks like an oval, but there is a bit of fat on her face, and her skin is pink and tender, which makes her cute. Her cultivation has also leapt from the perfect state of key training to the 2nd level of foundation building, and it seems that she is not far from the peak of the 2nd level of foundation building. She is just over 30 years old. In the mortal world, she is considered to be married or even a mother, but among the foundation building cultivators, she is like a child, and she still has a lot of life. And her cultivation speed is rare in the Ling family, and she is also the first among her peers. As for Ling Lihao, who has a water-attributed spiritual root, his cultivation progress is not small. Originally, his cultivation was just in the middle stage of foundation building, but now, after only 5 years, his cultivation has entered the 5th level of foundation building. Moreover, his aura is extremely strong, without any sense of vanity. It can be seen at a glance that it is the result of hard work. And he is only in his 40s now, which can be said to be a natural talent. Seeing the changes in the cultivation of his relatives, Ling Pengyun smiled a little more. Dad, Mom, you are finally back. Did you encounter any danger on this trip? Ling Changxin is still like a child who has not grown up. Seeing the appearance of Ling Pengyun and Yan Sidai, she immediately ran to the two and asked with a worried look on her face. The two old people Ling Xiaoshan and Yang Qiuyan, as well as Ling Lihao, followed closely behind. Of course, nothing happened. But you, girl, gave us a big surprise. You quietly entered the 2nd level of foundation building. How did you enter the foundation building? Ling Pengyun asked his precious daughter Ling Changxin very gently. Dad, according to your plan, 4 years ago, I cultivated the spiritual consciousness and meridians of the foundation building realm through the Xiangang Forging God technique and the Beiying Tempering Meridian technique, and then used my own strength to impact the foundation building. By chance, I succeeded. Then I began to assist my life spirit plant Lingxing tree, which had already entered the perfect state of key training, to enter the foundation building. Finally, 3 years ago, it successfully entered the foundation building realm. I also directly jumped to the 2nd level of foundation building due to the spiritual power feedback from its successful entry into the foundation building realm. Ling Changxin said very obediently. Ha, it's very good to build a foundation on your own. In this way, Ziner, you can increase your chances of reaching the golden core by half with your sharp spiritual power in the future. It can be regarded as paving the way for the golden core in advance. Ling Pengyun said very happily. Yan Sidai on the side also praised Ling Changxin, which made the shy Ling Changxin blush. The family then began to chat simply. Ling Xiaoshan, Yang Qiuyan and others were also very happy about this, and they even prepared a table to welcome the banquet. During this period, everyone chatted a lot. Ling Pengyun also learned that Ling Changxin's level in the spiritual plan is not far from the 2nd level middle grade. As long as her life spiritual plan, the apricot tree, enters the middle stage of foundation building, this matter will basically be accomplished. And Ling Lihao's specialty, the talisman making, has taken a step forward in success and entered the realm of the 2nd level upper grade. He can already draw several 2nd level upper grade talismans that he is good at, and guarantee the success rate to 30%. The spiritual plant cultivation that he also practiced was a little worse, but it was close to the realm of the second level upper grade. Such good news also made the wedding banquet more joyful. After the meal, Ling Pengyun and Yan Siai began to instruct Ling Chengxin, Ling Lihao, and the two elders Ling Xiaoshan and Yang Qiuyin to practice. 3.5 months later, a fierce battle was taking place in a certain place in the territory of Zixi Ridge. There were countless flying sand and rocks around, and the violent spiritual power fluctuations continued to sweep in all directions, knocking down all the surrounding trees, and even some hills began to shake continuously, as if the hills would collapse in the next moment. If you look closer, you can find that the combatants are actually two cultivators with a golden elixir aura. Moreover, they all have spiritual beasts and demon corpses to help. And one of the cultivators is Ling Pengyun's son Ling Chengxia. He has already taken out the 6th level giant and demon corpse that Ling Pengyun had given him for protection not long ago, and Feng Yingpeng, who is in the early giant stage. However, even so, he was still at a disadvantage. This was because his opponent was a demon cultivator with a strong demonic energy and a cultivation level as high as the middle giant stage, and he also controlled 3 demon corpses of the middle giant stage. With a combined strength of 1 person and 3 corpses, I am afraid that the strength of that person is enough to match that of a late giant and strong man. Even if Ling Chengxia did not have the late giant and demon corpse given by Ling Pengyun and Feng Yingpeng to protect him, plus his own life magic treasure Yin-Yang Huazhuan Bao realm, which was of the 3rd level middle grade, and was more restrained against demon cultivators, I am afraid that he would have already encountered an accident. The battle between the two was also because half a month ago, Ling Chengxia accepted the employment of the 2 pseudo-dam families Poi Liang and Pengyun Yang in the Zixi Ridge area to come to the Zixi Ridge area to quell the demon cultivators who were causing chaos in this area. After searching for half a month, Ling Chengxia finally found the den of the rebellious demon cultivators in this area with the help of his life treasure Yin-Yang Huazhuan Baojing, which was extremely sensitive to demon cultivators. But who knew that there was a demon cultivator in the middle stage of Jiandan in this den? 3 months ago, when he led a group of foundation-building clansmen to clean up the demon cultivators under the command of the Eastern Demon Realm Xuanxi sect, who were rebellious in the family's territory, he only encountered a demon cultivator in the early stage of Jiandan. At the same time, the demon cultivator in the middle stage of Jiandan saw that Ling Chengxia had been biting him tightly, making it difficult for him to get out of this area, and he became extremely anxious. There are 2 major pseudo-dam families in this area, and both families have giant cultivators. When the 2 giant cultivators arrive, it will be difficult for him to get out. At that time, if the extremely powerful giant of the Ling family knew about this and arrived, he would be finished. For a moment, he was also a little afraid. He didn't care to think too much and begged Ling Chengxia for mercy. Dao, we can't do anything to each other, so let's not waste any more time. Dao, please be kind and let me go. The low-level demon cultivators under my command can all be dealt with by Dao. I promise that I will never enter this land again in my life. Ling Chengxia, with a murderous look on his face, snorted angrily. It's too late. Although this land is the territory of Poi Liang and Pengyun Yang, the master behind this place is my clan. The demon cultivators who dare to enter my clan's territory and cause chaos must die. Not to mention, you have led many low-level Xuanxi sect demon cultivators to cause chaos in this land in the past 2 years, killing so many mortals and cultivators. Just wait for death. After saying that, Ling Chengxia increased the intensity of his attack in order to prevent the demon cultivator in the middle stage of the golden elixir from escaping. However, this also consumed the spiritual power in his body a little faster. He was a little scared, and from time to time, he would look towards the clan territory, the ice and snow forest, and the clan territories of the Poi Liang clan and the Pengyun Yang clan. I hope that the rest of the Jiandan clan members, as well as the Jiandan fellows of the Liang clan and the Pengyun Yang clan can come faster. Otherwise, if it continues, I'm afraid I won't be able to stop the Jiandan mid-stage demon cultivator. Chapter 981 The Mysterious Powerful Man. At the same time, tens of thousands of miles away, Liang Mingtu, the patriarch of the Poi Liang family who is in the fake Dan realm, was desperately urging the flying sword magic weapon under his feet to rush to the direction of Ling Chengxia's help. His face was also full of panic, and he was constantly praying in his heart that Ling Chengxia would not be in trouble. Ling Chengxia was the offspring of Ling Pengyun, the strongest person in the Ling family at present. and he knew a thing or two about Ling Pengyun's strength. Once Ling Qiangshi got into trouble in the Zixi Ridge where his family was located, or if something happened to his family Liang family and the Pengyun Yang family in suppressing the demon cultivators, I'm afraid his family would not be able to see the sun tomorrow again. It was precisely because he did not hesitate to consume his spiritual power and urged the flying sword to escape that he arrived at the place where Ling Qiangshi and the giant and mid-stage demon cultivator were fighting in just half an hour. Liang Mingtu took a look and saw that Ling Qiangshi was fine now, but his face was a little pale due to excessive consumption of spiritual power, so he was relieved. Fortunately, this fellow Taoist Ling Qiangshi is fine. With a sigh in his heart, he also rushed forward to help Ling Qiangshi. Less than half an incense stick of time, Yang Siki, a second-level giant and cultivator from the Poyanyang clan, also rushed over in a hurry. He was also afraid that Ling Qiangshi would get into trouble in this area. This person is an ancestor. Ling Qiangshi, who was originally at a disadvantage, had the help of Liang Mingtu, a fake dam from the Poyanyang clan, and Yang Siki, a second-level giant and cultivator from the Pengyun Yang clan. His situation gradually improved. They also fought the giant and mid-stage demon cultivator to a 50-50 draw. After delaying the giant and mid-stage demon cultivator for a few more hours, Ling Qiangshi finally waited for the support of his family. And the support was Ling Qiangshi's father Ling Pengyun, who was cultivating in the Ice and Snow Valley in the Ice and Snow Forest area adjacent to the Purple Scorpion Ridge area. Although Ling Pengyun's current cultivation is only at the 8th level of the Golden Core, his spiritual power is rich enough to rival that of a perfect Golden Core cultivator, and his escape technique is enough to travel more than 100 miles a day. With this extraordinary speed, he was able to arrive in time. With his arrival, the entire occupation was actually coming to an end. After just a dozen moves, the demon cultivator who had the help of 3 early Golden Core demon corpses died in the hands of Ling Pengyun with endless regret. After the battle, Ling Pengyun looked at Liang Mingtu, the Liang family fake Dan, who had been protecting Ling Qiangshi in the previous battle, and Yang Siki, a second-level Golden Core cultivator, who both had many injuries on their bodies, and raised a bit of satisfaction between his eyebrows. The monster rebellion is approaching, and our clan still has a lot of spare golden elixir spiritual objects. If your 2 clans have suitable golden elixir seedlings, but lack golden elixir spiritual objects, you can come to my Ling family to buy a second-class golden elixir spiritual object at the original price. After the incident in the White Shadow Secret Realm, the Ling family now has more than a dozen spiritual trees and spiritual ponds that can produce golden elixir spiritual objects. Relying on these spiritual trees and spiritual ponds alone, the Ling family's golden elixir spiritual objects are enough to be self-sufficient, and even have some to spare. In addition, in recent years, whenever the Ling family has spare spiritual stones, they will buy some golden elixir spiritual objects and put them into the clan treasury, which makes the Ling family have more than enough golden elixir spiritual objects to sell. Now, the Ling family does not need golden elixir spiritual objects, so it is not a problem to sell 2 unused second-class golden elixir spiritual objects to Liang and Yang's 2 subordinates. This can also be regarded as an indirect support and a reward for them to protect Ling Qiangshi. Liang Mingtu and Yang Siki, who were still a little injured, were extremely happy when they heard this. They thanked Ling Pengyun repeatedly. For a pseudo-dam family like theirs, there were actually no spiritual trees or spiritual ponds that could produce golden elixir spiritual objects. The only source of golden elixir spiritual objects was to buy them from outside. And buying golden elixir spiritual objects outside would risk being snatched away by other fellow golden elixir practitioners. Liang Mingtu of the Liang family was only a fake elixir, and Yang Siki of the Pengyun Yang family was a golden elixir cultivator, but his cultivation was only at the 2nd level of the golden elixir. No matter which golden elixir cultivator they were placed in, they were at the weakest level. Under such circumstances, in recent years, although both of their families had become wealthy, the number of times they went out of Yan state to other lands to buy golden elixir spiritual objects was few and far between, and every time they went together, or invited Ling's golden elixir to go to auctions in the outside world where golden elixir spiritual objects appeared. Even, they didn't dare to go to the northern wilderness Xiuxin realm to buy giant and spiritual objects. The resources in the northern wilderness Xiuxin realm were scarce, and giant and spiritual objects were rare. Once they appeared, they would be snatched by major forces. Under such circumstances, each of them has only found one second-rate giant and spiritual object over the years. Their two families are currently in great need of giant and spiritual objects. Now, Ling Pengyun's golden mouth can be of great help to their two families. Deep in the boundless vast swamp, in the depths of a huge lake that is so vast that you can't see the end at a glance, like a sea, there is an island with extremely rich water spirit. There are a large number of high-level spiritual fields on that island, and there are many rare third-level spiritual herbs in the outside world. There are even many fourth-level spiritual herbs and fourth-level spiritual plants. In the center of the island, there is a small palace. Outside the palace, the Yuaning demon kings of the major demon clans in the northern wilderness Zeuxin realm gathered. However, these demon kings are now kowtowed in front of a young man with extremely fair skin, handsome looks, and wearing a gorgeous robe. It is also worth mentioning that under the gorgeous robe of this young man, there is a tail several feet long and covered with black scales, and his face has always carried a look of just waking up. This also makes the young man who looks like a pretty boy look extremely weird. At this moment, the young man rubbed his eyes, looking like he had not woken up yet, looking at the demon kings in front of him, but he was very impolite. In the past few thousand years, I have not observed the affairs of the demon race, but you have become less and less aware of the situation. Now, the territory of my demon race is getting smaller every 100 years. If I hadn't woken up in the middle of my cultivation this time, I'm afraid that my demon race's territory would have been conquered by you long ago. You don't even think about why the righteous human forces in other parts of the immortal cultivation world don't enter this immortal cultivation world. It's simply because they think that there are fewer righteous territories in this immortal cultivation world and the resources are scarcer. Once too much of the territories under the command of your various races are occupied and the territories of the righteous forces are gradually expanding, the righteous forces in other parts of the immortal cultivation world that are still paying attention to this immortal cultivation world will inevitably intervene and enter this place. By then, my demon race will be killed by you bunch of trash. There will be a monster rebellion in 5 years, so everyone should pay attention. If any of your races still has territory occupied, die. At the end of the speech, the sleepiness on the young man's face suddenly disappeared, and he even roared. The group of nascent soul demon kings who had a high status in the outside world, at this moment, dared not say a word. They all lowered their heads, fearing that they would offend the master of the boundless and vast swamp in front of them. Chapter 982 Yin and Yang Taichu Essence. Get lost. The young man saw the appearance of the demon kings in front of him, and he yelled in anger. The demon kings breathed a sigh of relief when they heard this, and fled quickly like rabbits. The strange young man with a black scaled tail looked at this scene, his eyes darkened. A bunch of useless things. It may be difficult for this bunch of trash to defend my boundless and vast swamp. As soon as he finished speaking, he opened his mouth slightly, and a roar of a dragon came out. Ah! This sound spread throughout the huge lake. When the demon kings who had not yet walked far heard this sound, their backs went cold, and they quickly sped up a bit, fearing that the existence would cause trouble for them. And not long after, in the depths of the lake, in the water around the island, 3 huge heads slowly emerged. They all had a sharp horn on their foreheads, and were covered with fish scale-like scales. Upon closer inspection, they were all dragon heads. Moreover, they all carried a monstrous nascent soul aura. Among them, the blue-scaled dragon with the strongest aura asked the strange young man with a tail on the back of the island. "Ancestor, what do you want to call us for?" Seeing the 3 dragons appear, the anger on the strange young man's face was reduced a little, and he became more friendly. 5 years later, during the monster rebellion, you go to cause some trouble to the group of righteous cultivators in the outside world. You should prepare well in the past 5 years. The blue-scaled dragon said happily. "Okay, ancestor, you finally showed mercy and let us go out." The other 2 dragons who had not spoken also showed joy. Don't be happy too early. The methods of the group of cultivators in the outside world are extraordinary. Don't underestimate the enemy. The blue-scaled dragon said seriously. "I know, ancestor, we will not underestimate anyone." The strange young man on the island also showed satisfaction on his face after hearing this answer. Time passed slowly. 2.5 years passed in a flash. One night. In the pitch-black night, the white crescent moon illuminated the entire land, adding a glimmer of light to the land in the darkness. With the help of this light, one could vaguely see a young man wearing a Ling family blue Taoist robe, sitting cross-legged on a white boulder deep in the ice and snow valley. The young man closed his eyes tightly and did not make a sound. But there seemed to be some kind of attraction on his body, gathering the moonlight shining in the darkness around him, and even slowly absorbing it into his body. As a result, his whole body became a little brighter. And in his sea of consciousness, there was even more movement at this moment. Around the mysterious Yin-Yang Taichu Sutra suspended in the center of his sea of consciousness, there were 8 large and 1 small auras with 7 color lights. The slightly smaller aura, under the infusion of the power of the moonlight, also grew in size, and its flashing light became more dazzling. It was unknown how long it had passed, but when the power of the moonlight dissipated, the slightly smaller colorful gas had reached the size of the other 8 colorful gas around it. 9 colorful gas of the same size also revolved around the Yin-Yang Taichu Sutra at this moment, adding a bit of mystery to the Yin-Yang Taichu Sutra. By this time, the young man with a fury-like temperament was already in a state of excitement. He had been practicing Taoism for nearly 200 years, and for various reasons, he finally gathered 9 Yin-Yang Taichu gas today. And it took him 81 years to gather these 9 Yin-Yang Taichu gas, which was enough for a mortal's lifetime. My chance of nascent soul depends on this thing. Immediately, Ling Pengyun, who had a fury-like temperament, slowly merged the 9 colorful gas with anticipation. When they touched, they suddenly shone with countless dazzling lights, covering Ling Pengyun's entire sea of consciousness. After a long while, these colorful lights dissipated. Around the mysterious Taichu Sutra in the center of the sea of consciousness, there was only a strand of colorful silk thread left. Although its size was not as big as the 9 colorful auras before, this silk thread was a physical entity, and the strange light shining on it was even more mysterious and profound. Ling Pengyun did not delay and directly passed it into his body. In an instant, he felt a warm current flowing through his meridians. Wherever the warm current passed, whether it was the meridians, the spiritual power it touched, or even the flesh and blood of the body, even the consciousness and the blood contained in the flesh and blood, they were all undergoing tremendous changes at this moment. A trace of stains was discharged from the countless pores on his body. In just an instant, he turned into a clay man. And the warm current never stopped, and it went back and forth in the meridians of Ling Pengyun's body 9 times before the warm current disappeared. At this moment, Ling Pengyun also felt that he had undergone earth-shaking changes. His meridians and spiritual consciousness are at least several times stronger than before, and his spiritual power has become more pure and sharp. Although these spiritual powers have not increased, the qualitative change has greatly increased the strength of his spiritual power. Judging from the current situation, I am afraid that he can already match the spiritual power strength of those pseudo-infant realm masters. The speed of these spiritual powers running in the meridians has also increased several times. Even if Ling Pengyun relies on the spiritual power in his body to run and practice, it is enough to match the spiritual power improvement brought by his previous concentration in seclusion. If he focuses on practice, his cultivation will surely improve by leaps and bounds. The same is true for his spiritual consciousness. He spreads his spiritual consciousness all around with all his strength, enough to cover nearly 12,000 to 3,000 miles around. This has exceeded the limit of ordinary golden elixirs and can also match the spiritual consciousness strength of pseudo-infant realm cultivators. The most important thing is that the middle-quality golden elixir in Ling Pengyun's abdomen has also undergone a transformation. Originally, this golden elixir was aqua blue because Ling Pengyun's practice method was of water attribute. But now, this golden pill has turned into the color of the 5 elements, and its internal space has also expanded several times, which can store more spiritual power. In addition, this golden pill can operate on its own, and absorb the other 5 elements of spiritual energy around Ling Pengyun, and automatically integrate them into the body, and operate through the meridians to transform them into pure 5 elements of spiritual power, and store them in the golden pill, making Ling Pengyun's already pure spiritual power even purer. According to Ling Pengyun's estimation, according to the current situation, once the spiritual power in his body is converted into 5 elements of spiritual power, I am afraid that the spiritual power strength of ordinary pseudo-infant realm cultivators will be difficult to match him. However, this process may take about decades. The 5 elements golden pill also made Ling Pengyun inexplicably have a high degree of sensitivity to the spiritual energy of the other 5 elements except the water attribute. He can easily perceive the other spiritual energy in the air. It will be of great benefit to his future cultivation in various places with rich spiritual energy. He no longer had to practice in the ice and snow valley with the ice spirit veins as he had done in the past. He could practice safely in any place with sufficient spiritual energy without affecting his progress. Chapter 983 The Secret of the Five Elements Yin-Yang. These improvements also turned Ling Pengyun's joy into ecstasy, and he couldn't help but smile. The yin-yang Taichu essence, that can only be condensed by gathering 9 mouthfuls of yin-yang Taichu qi, is indeed mysterious. It actually helped my Jinden to upgrade to the legendary 5 elements Jinden. Now I have some chances to impact the nascent soul. The 5 elements Jinden is the highest quality Jinden in the legend, which is of great help to aptitude. As long as you practice well, it is basically a matter of course to reach the golden Dan perfection. Moreover, this Jinden is extremely mysterious, and the 5 elements spiritual power cultivated has improved the cultivator's body, meridians, and so on. Indirectly, it can at least increase the cultivator's probability of entering the nascent soul by 10%. As for Ling Pengyun, the mysterious yin-yang Taichu essence previously greatly improved his all-round ability, and at least increased his probability of impacting the nascent soul by 10%. In the future, with his comprehension, if he can practice the Tiangang soul forging technique of the middle stage of the nascent soul well, cultivate the consciousness of the early stage of the nascent soul in advance, and then use the white shadow meridian tempering technique of the white shadow sect to strengthen the meridians, plus the addition of the body forging to the meridians, it can also increase Ling Pengyun's probability of impacting the nascent soul by about 10%. In this way, due to various reasons, Ling Pengyun's probability of impacting the nascent soul by himself is as high as 30%. If there are additional nascent soul spiritual objects to help, the probability of success will only be higher. After a long time, Ling Pengyun finally calmed down. There was also a bit of ambition in his eyes. According to his master, Bishu Zhenjin, who had already entered the nascent soul realm, in the process of impacting the nascent soul, the quality of the condensed nascent soul is particularly important, just like the golden elixir to the golden Dan cultivator. The higher the quality of the nascent soul, the faster the nascent soul cultivator will practice. It is said that the quality of the nascent soul is divided into 3 levels, low, medium, and high. In addition, there is the 5 elements nascent soul, which is only in the legend. Those who condense the lower nascent soul are mostly because they have taken too many spiritual objects in the process of impacting the nascent soul or in the path of cultivation, and their foundation is not solid, which leads to this. Those who condense the middle nascent soul generally have a solid foundation and have the opportunity to enter the late nascent soul in the future, but there are still not many. And if you want to condense the superior nascent soul, you need to rely on your own strength. As for those who can condense the 5 elements nascent soul, there are very few. Even if you look at the entire Zeuxan world for countless years, there are not many people. And those who condense the 5 elements nascent soul, none of them eventually reach the peak of the nascent soul perfection, or even the realm of the God transformation, and live in this world for at least 3,000 years. The prerequisite for condensing the 5 elements nascent soul is to have the 5 elements golden elixir during the golden elixir period. At that time, in the process of attacking the nascent soul, you can use the 5 elements golden pill as the basis, and then use the 2 special spiritual objects of the earth spirit and the 9 heavens mysterious key plus the special method of forming the nascent soul of heaven and earth to try to condense the 5 elements nascent soul. However, the probability of success is still not high, and whether it can be condensed depends entirely on chance. But even if the condensation of the 5 elements nascent soul in this way fails, as long as it ends smoothly, at least a superior nascent soul can be condensed, and there is a chance to enter the late stage of the nascent soul. In the past, Ling Pengyun, who only condensed the middle-level golden pill, naturally dared not think about the 5 elements nascent soul, but now that he has the 5 elements golden pill, his vision is naturally a little longer. Now, all I need is the earth spirit and the 9 heavens mysterious key. I have already reached the 8th level of the golden core, and judging from today's improvement, the future bottleneck of the golden core is probably just like a piece of paper in front of me. As long as the time is right, I can enter it naturally. It should be no problem to reach the 9th level of the golden core within 30 years. By then, I will be one step closer to the perfection of the golden core. The matter of finding the earth spirit and the 9 heavens mysterious key must be put on the agenda. But these 2 items are not available to ordinary cultivators. After the monster beast chaos, I can only trouble Master and see if Master has any channels to get them. Ling Pengyun secretly planned in his heart. The Earth Spirit and the Nine Heavens Mysterious Key are at least the 4th level, which are rare and precious. They are several times more precious than the quasi-4th level Zhuanshan water. The former is condensed by gathering countless earth veins by a special method. The latter can only exist above the 9th heaven. The 9 heavens describes the 9 layers of strong winds above the sky. Each layer is stronger than the previous one. Once an ordinary foundation building cultivator enters it, it will only take a moment for him to turn into a pile of bones, or even nothing left. A giant cultivator can barely enter the first 5 layers of strong winds. Only cultivators in the late Yin-Yang stage have the opportunity to break through the remaining layers of strong winds, resist the 9 heavens, and have the opportunity to use special methods to take the 9 heavens mysterious key. In addition, these 2 items are actually Yin-Yang spiritual items, which can increase the probability of a cultivator entering the Yin-Yang stage by about 10%. At this time, Ling Pengyun smelled a foul smell at the tip of his nose. He frowned slightly, opened his eyes, and looked down. Only then did he see that it was the impurities that were previously eliminated from the body to the surface of the body. Then, his mind moved, and the blue Taoist robe on his body suddenly flashed with blue light, triggering a body cleansing technique that swept his entire body, and the stains on his body were cleaned up in an instant. After finishing this, he jumped from the huge rock below to the ground with joy, and returned to the cave deep in the ice and snow valley to practice. The cave here was set up by the family's 3rd-level middle-grade array master Ling Pengyun. With the help of the array, the spiritual energy in the cave was extremely pure. In the past, under the control of Ling Pengyun with the array plate, the gathering array would only absorb the pure ice spiritual energy in the ice and snow valley into the cave, and the other 5 elements of spiritual energy would never be mixed. However, this matter is unnecessary for Ling Pengyun, who has now condensed the 5 elements of golden elixir. Now, any 5 elements of spiritual energy are just his cultivation resources, which will only speed up the speed of converting the water-attributed spiritual energy in his body into the 5 elements of spiritual energy. And this matter also gave Ling Pengyun, who had just entered the cave to practice, an idea. I originally have 5 element spiritual roots. The essence of yin and yang that entered my body this time and the condensation of the 5-element golden elixir have greatly improved my 5-element spiritual roots. And the 5-element golden elixir focuses on the 5-element spiritual power. In this case, if I practice the 5-element attribute technique, it will be more beneficial for me to practice one. But this 5-element technique. When Ling Pengyun thought of this 5-element technique, he had a headache. There are actually quite a lot of 5-element techniques in the world of immortal cultivation. After all, the most common cultivators in this world of immortal cultivation are cultivators with 5 spiritual roots. Many cultivators with 5 spiritual roots also practice that kind of 5-element attribute technique. Ling Pengyun, who has 5 spiritual roots, wanted to practice this kind of technique in his early years, but unfortunately, his family was only a key training force at that time, and it took a few years to become a foundation building force. The foundation was weak and there was no high-level 5-element technique. In addition, because his water spiritual roots were more prominent, his family gave him the Kanglan Bahesec's most prestigious martial art, the Kanglan Bahe Sutra, the key training chapter for cultivation. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 984, Opportunity for Sudden Enlightenment. However, high-level 5-element techniques are rare. Even the Ling family, which has obtained many major Jainan forces, the White Shadow sect, a righteous Yin-Yang force, and the Ghost Immortal sect, a Ghostway transformation force, currently only has 5-element techniques for key training, foundation building, and Jainan. As for the 5-element techniques for the Yin-Yang, let alone the Ling family, it is not certain whether even the entire northern wilderness cultivation world has them. After all, techniques are created by cultivators. Although there are some geniuses among the 5-element spiritual roots who are extremely sensitive to spiritual energy, they can eventually surpass ordinary 5-element spiritual roots and enter the foundation building, even Jainan, and even Yin-Yang. But this kind of people is rare after all, and there are even fewer 5-element spiritual roots who can enter the Yin-Yang. Under such circumstances, the 5-element techniques at the Yin-Yang level are naturally rare. Ling Pengyun does not look down on ordinary 5-element techniques for key training, foundation building, and even jade. He wanted to switch to a 5-element technique to improve his cultivation speed and pave the way for the future. After all, he needed a 5-element technique that could directly reach the nascent soul stage. Otherwise, he might as well follow the plan. If he could enter the nascent soul stage in the future, he would practice the White Shadow Sex Water Attributed Technique Infinite Water Treasure Book that could directly reach the middle stage of the nascent soul. However, Ling Pengyun was still somewhat unwilling to practice the 5-element technique. If there was a suitable 5-element technique to help him, he estimated that his cultivation speed could be increased by several times. Such a benefit, no cultivator could refuse. With the help of the yin-yang Taichu essence, my comprehension must have been indirectly improved a lot. Since it is difficult to find a 5-element technique, I can try to improve various secret techniques and deduce a 5-element technique by myself. Thinking of this, Ling Pengyun's eyes suddenly lit up. Combined with his own situation, the 5-element technique deduced by himself must be more suitable for his practice, and the effect it can bring is bound to be stronger. As for the time cost required to deduce the 5 elements, Ling Pengyun did not think much about it. After all, he is only nearly 200 years old now. Over the years, he has increased his lifespan to more than 600, or even nearly 700, due to various spiritual objects that increase his lifespan, as well as various methods of increasing his lifespan. He still has nearly 500 years of life left. Moreover, even if the 5 elements are difficult to deduce to the level he wants, he has a way out. He can practice the Wujiaoshu Baodian, a water-attributed technique of the middle stage of the nascent soul of the White Shadow sect. With this idea, Ling Pengyun has no intention of practicing it anymore. Immediately, he went back to the clan land and copied all the 5 elements techniques of the family, as well as the superior attribute techniques of various grades. After doing this, he returned to the Cave of the Ice and Snow Valley and began to read these techniques. Perhaps due to the essence of yin and yang Taichu, Ling Pengyun's mind and thoughts were several times clearer than before. He had some ideas after just flipping through those classics for half a month. However, he was not in a hurry to deduce. Instead, he carefully looked at the other 5 elements and the other superior single attribute cultivation methods of the family, and selected 5 superior single attribute cultivation methods. They are the gold attributed Jingjin Qiuyang Treasure Book, the wood attributed Spring Shengmu Yuan Treasure Book, the water attributed Wu Jiaoshu Treasure Book, the fire attributed Hoan Treasure Book, and the earth attributed Wu Tu Yanling Treasure Book. Among them, Wu Jiaoshu Treasure Book and Hoan Treasure Book can reach the middle stage of Yuanying and the early stage of Yuanying respectively. The other 3 methods can only be cultivated to the state of Jinden perfection, but among the Jinden chapter methods, those 3 methods can also be regarded as superior. Ling Pengyun also followed suit, using these 5 techniques and combining them with the theories of the other 5 elements techniques of the family, and began to deduce the 5 elements techniques that best suited him. In fact, this method can also be considered an improvement, but the improvement is relatively large. In just half a year, he had achieved some results. He had created a 5-element method that could enter the realm through the key training chapter of the 5 techniques. And on this day, he seemed to have opened up a new world. Countless knowledge poured into his mind, and his aura gradually changed. Even began to gather in his body. In just a moment, his aura disappeared, and he seemed to have turned into a mortal. After 5 days, he finally returned to normal, and he opened his eyes. An indescribable joy appeared on his face. It turned out that 5 days ago, by chance, he had stepped into a rare enlightenment opportunity. And through this opportunity, he also gained great benefits. The first thing to bear the brunt is the 5-element technique that he deduced from the 5 single attribute techniques he selected. It has evolved to the state of perfect key training, and it is only half a step away from being deduced to the state of foundation building. Moreover, this newly deduced technique, because it gathers many advantages of the 5 single attribute superior techniques selected by Ling Pengyun, is completely enough to enter the middle level of countless key training techniques. It only takes time to perfect it, and it is basically a foregone conclusion to enter the superior level. After all, although the opportunity to realize the Tao is strong, the time is too short. Secondly, Ling Pengyun took advantage of this opportunity to realize the Tao and comprehend a lot of the core secret technique of the 3rd level superior spiritual plant Kenglin pregnancy plant technique that he is currently practicing. In no more than 50 years, he will be able to comprehend it. By then, as long as the 3 kinds of life spirit plants under his command can all enter the middle stage of the golden elixir, or one of the life spirit plants can enter the late stage of the golden elixir, his spirit plants can officially enter the 3rd level superior realm. At that time, the speed of cultivating spiritual plants will increase several times again. With the increase in the number of life spiritual plants, the restrictions on the spiritual plant grade are actually reduced a little. Before, Ling Pengyun's spiritual plant was able to enter the 3rd level middle grade realm because the 3 life spiritual plants under his command all entered the golden elixir realm, and he gained the insights of the 3 life spiritual plants. In addition, he finally comprehended the 3rd level middle grade realm of refining equipment. Although he has entered the 3rd level realm of refining equipment for a long time, over the years, Ling Pengyun's mind has been mostly on spiritual plants and cultivation, as well as comprehending various magical powers and powerful secrets. The family has won many high-level magic weapons through various wars, which are enough for the Ling family monks to use. This has gradually alienated Ling Pengyun from refining equipment. As a result, this path has not been improved. After retrieving his distracting thoughts, Ling Pengyun once again concentrated on deducing the 5 elements technique. And this 5 elements technique was also named Lingxiao 5 Elements Treasure Book by him, taken from the family's Taoist name. Horizontal ellipsis. In the blink of an eye, 2 years passed quietly. The monster rebellion that had been expected for 100 years in the northern wilderness cultivation world arrived as expected. The monsters in the boundless vast marshes also came out in full force on this day and invaded the territories of the righteous human forces in various places. The demon forces in the eastern demon realm also took the opportunity to help the monsters and attack the righteous. And it was exactly as Ling had expected 5 years ago. The Xuanqi sect, one of the 3 major Yuanying demon sects in the eastern demon realm, did indeed form an alliance with the Red Gold Bear clan, a demon clan near Yan State, and the Golden Winged Tiger clan, a hostile force of the Yuanying clan Maple Leaf Li family, just like the last monster rebellion, and attacked the Xiangxing sect, a Yuanying force under Yan State, and the Maple Leaf Li family. Yan State, where Ling was located, was also implicated and was besieged by a large number of Xuanqi sect demon cultivators and some monsters of the Red Gold Bear clan, which was already an enemy. For a while, Yan State was also plunged into war. Chapter 985, The Monster Rebellion. It is also worth mentioning that the number of demon cultivators and monsters besieging Yan State this time is several times more than that of the monster rebellion 100 years ago. There are tens of thousands of demon cultivators, not only the disciples of the Yuanying demon sect Xuanqi sect, but also some demon cultivators of the Jinden and Foundation building forces under its command. The number of monsters is even greater, more than double that of the last monster rebellion, more than 2 million. Fortunately, most of these monsters are low-level monsters. Even most of them are just those who have just entered the Tao for decades. Compared with the last monster rebellion, the number of Foundation building and Jinden monsters has not increased much. There are only about 2,000 Foundation building monsters and more than 30 Jinden monster kings. It can also be seen that most of these monsters were born in recent years and are not strong. Most of them are just pulled to make up the numbers. The 10,000 demon cultivators were strong, with 5 golden elixir demon cultivators in charge. Unfortunately, compared to the giant Yan State, they were still a little less. This was also a good thing for Yan State. During this monster beast riot, the Xiangxing sect, the superior force of Yan State, was worried that the Red Gold Bear clan would attack the subordinate country Yan State as it did during the last monster beast riot. In addition, during the last monster beast riot, this sect had seized a lot of monster clan territory and established 2 subordinate countries with the Maple Leaf Li family. Now, this sect has no intention of expanding and only wants to defend its territory. For these 2 reasons, this sect did not withdraw troops from Yan State during this monster beast riot. It only sent people to inform the major golden elixir forces in Yan State to guard Yan State well. If there's anything wrong, they can ask for help from the superior sect. This matter is a great thing for the golden elixir force Ling family and other golden elixir forces in Yan State. It is for this reason that all the Jinden forces in Yan State are in full victory, with strong troops and horses. All the forces brought their own part of the soldiers and a group of 30,000 monks to gather together in the largest market Baiyun city in the Baiyun Mountains. In the Baiyun Mountains, which is the closest to the boundless and vast lake in Yan State. This city has 2 third-level medium-grade spiritual veins and 1 third-level high-grade spiritual vein. After years of operation by the Ling family, it has become more indestructible than before. At present, it has arranged 3 third-level high-grade defense formations and 2 third-level medium-grade defense formations. The first 3 formations are still the 3 third-level high-grade formations arranged on the 3 third-level spiritual veins during the last monster rebellion, the Zhuanyang Burning Formation, the Jinyu Gangyang Formation obtained from the Liang family of Yuan State, and the Qingfang Yanyu Formation obtained from the Zhu family of Yuan State. The 2 extra third-level medium-grade formations were arranged based on nearly 1,000 first-level and second-level spiritual veins in the city to form a mountain-like formation. These 1,000 spiritual veins were moved from various places in the Baiyun Mountains by Ling Pengyun, the lord of Baiyun City, in order to strengthen the defense of Baiyun City. It is also worth mentioning that Ling Pengyun learned a special formation migration secret method from the quasi 4th-level formation master Lei Yun's Henren, who died in the battle when protecting Bishu's Henren to attack the nascent soul. In the process of migrating those spiritual veins, the loss of the essence of those spiritual veins can be greatly reduced. It was for this reason that she moved the spiritual veins from other areas to Baiyun City. With the opening of the 5 formations of Baiyun City, the 2 million monsters of the Red Gold Bear clan and the tens of thousands of demon cultivators of the Demon Dao were also resisted. However, these 2 forces were smart. They knew that it would be difficult to break through the first line of defense of Yan State, Baiyun City, in a short period of time. So they sent a lot of demon beasts to cooperate with the demon cultivators, bypassed Baiyun City, snipped into the heart of Yan State, and attacked the weak strongholds of the major forces and even the mountain gates. In just a few days, dozens of mountain gates of key training and foundation building forces were breached in the entire Yan State. The cultivators stationed in them also fell into the mouths of demon beasts or were turned into low-level demon corpses by those demon cultivators. The mortal villages and towns under the command of those forces were trampled to pieces. The situation was horrible. However, the Ling family was an exception. During this period, the various territories of the Ling family were very peaceful, and they were rarely attacked by demon cultivators and demon beasts. All of this was due to the fact that a large number of key training and foundation building cultivators of the Ling family rode on various peng birds, cranes, spirit horses and other spirit beasts cultivated by the family day and night to continuously patrol the various territories of the family. The leader of this group of people is Ling Chengsha, who has been called Xuanjing Evil Star by the group of demon cultivators in the Eastern Demon Realm in recent years. The Ling family let Ling Chengsha, a Jindan, sit in the family, not because his cultivation is low, only in the early stage of Jindan, but because his life magic weapon, Yin-Yang Huaxun Treasure Mirror, is really a treasure for searching for demon cultivators. The top leaders of the Ling family expected that the Zhuangqi sect would help the Red Gold Bear clan, and naturally guessed that these 2 major demon forces would send demon cultivators and demon beasts to sneak into Yan State to cause chaos during the demon beast chaos. For other Jindan cultivators, it may be extremely difficult to find these mice hiding in the dark. But for Ling Chengsha holding the Yin-Yang Huaxun Treasure Mirror, it is extremely easy. The skill Yin-Yang Huaxun Sutra attached to this treasure was originally created by a cultivator of Kanglin Bahe sect who hated demon cultivators. Therefore, the superior life magic weapon Yin-Yang Huaxun Treasure Mirror attached to the skill has the ability to illumine demons and even illumine monsters. At present, the power of the Yin-Yang Huaxun Treasure Mirror in Ling Chengsha's hand, which is as high as the 3rd-level middle grade, can basically be easily detected by this treasure mirror as long as the monsters and demons that appear within 60,000 miles around this treasure mirror and whose cultivation is lower than that of the late Jindan stage. Some demons or monsters in the middle Jindan stage who have practiced the superior breath-retaining technique may not be found by this treasure mirror. But generally speaking, the ability of this treasure mirror to search for demons is already good enough to be on par with some special magic weapons of the same level for searching demons. And Ling Chengsha's magic weapon can prioritize his cultivation and enter the realm of the 3rd-level middle grade, thanks to the matter of exterminating demons entrusted by the Poi Liang clan and the Pingyun Yang clan in the Purple Scorpion Ridge 5 years ago. From this matter, he earned as much as 60,000 spiritual stones. The group of demons that were killed that year also robbed a lot of property from the righteous forces, and they also carried a large number of various spiritual objects. In the end, Lingxiao also got the lion's share of these spiritual objects. His cultivation is currently at the peak of the first level of the Golden Core. After all, he has only been in the Golden Core realm for a short time. However, he is confident that he can reach the second level of the Golden Core within 10 years. Chapter 986 Leisurely Defending the City. At this time, at a certain place on the border of the Ling family mountain range, where the Ling family's land is located, Lingxiao was leading a group of 300 Ling family cultivators to siege a group of hundreds of demon cultivators and thousands of monsters that had just entered their family's land. Although there were no jade among those demon cultivators and monsters, there were more than 100 in the Foundation establishment realm, and their strength was considered strong, and they were considered an elite army. It was just a pity that with Lingxiao, a jade, in charge of the battle, this elite army became a bunch of chickens and pottery dogs. In just half an instant of time, these demon cultivators and monsters were killed. The more than 300 Ling family cultivators under Lingxiao had only a few casualties, and this time they could be said to have won a great victory. Why didn't giant and realm monsters or demon cultivators come? And they were still thinking about earning some cultivation resources. Lingxiao looked at the direction of the Bayun Mountains, feeling a little regretful, and sighed. He had no skills, and usually obtained cultivation resources through family offerings and killing some monsters. In this monster rebellion, he actually wanted to earn some resources through fighting to speed up his cultivation progress. When he broke through the golden elixir, he broke through alone, without using the family's golden elixir spiritual objects, so he had no debts. But how could he know that it was not the demon cultivators and demons besieging Yan State who were unwilling to send golden elixir combat forces to the Ling family to cause chaos, but that there was no manpower to send? At this moment, deep in the Bayun Mountains of Yan State, at the front line of the Bayun Mountains, Bayun City. Here, the main battlefield of Yan State, a fierce battle is erupting. More than 2 million monsters and tens of thousands of demon cultivators work together to frantically bombard the 5 powerful city defense formations of Bayun City. The cultivators in Bayun City try their best to use offensive means to obstruct the attacks of demons from the outside world. Among those demons, there were more than 30 or 40 giants, all of whom were held tightly by the many Yan Kingdom giants in the city and could not escape at all. This was also the reason why demons without giants entered the heartland of Yan Kingdom. The Yan Kingdom today is not the Yan Kingdom 100 years ago. After benefiting from the last monster beast riot and developing peacefully for 100 years, the current Yan Kingdom is at least 30% stronger than 100 years ago. During this monster beast riot, there were many giants stationed in Bayun City. The Ling family had Ling Pengyun, Yan City, 3rd level middle grade alchemist Ling Yunhong, Bayun City Lord, 3rd level middle grade formation master Ling Pengyun, 3rd level lower grade alchemist Ling Chengxin, quasi 3rd level spiritual plant husband Ling Wanchuan, quasi 3rd level beast master Lin Fan, and quasi 3rd level silkworm breeder Ling Chengping, plus 8 giant and demon corpses, 16 giant and combat forces. Bailing sex 8th level giant and master Bailing, giant and realm master Bayan, master Bao Ian who entered the middle giant and realm a few years ago, Master Lingfu who entered the middle giant in realm, Wu Tian who entered the early giant in realm, Yang Xiling who entered the giant in realm, Wu Hong who entered the middle giant in realm with Fengling Root and his family of 4, and 5 giant and puppets, a total of 12 giant and combat forces. Master Yao Wang of Yao Wang Valley, Master Washua who entered the middle giant in realm, and the newly promoted Master Gangli, and 3 giant and demon corpses, a total of 6 giant and combat forces. Another giant and Master Yaoki, who is also an alchemist in this valley, is in charge of Yaowang Valley. Qingxin Taoist Master Qingxin, Master Qingming, and Master Qingling came to Qingxin Taoist Temple, and brought 3 giant and demon corpses, a total of 6 giant and combat forces. The latter 2 are both newly promoted giant and of Qingxin Taoist Temple, both of whom are at the bottom of the line and have only broken through in the past 10 years. Their cultivation is also only at the 1st level of giant. With these 2 people, Qingxin Taoist Temple also has 4 giant, and its strength is not much weaker than Yaowang Valley. It is not far behind the other giant and fighting forces of Yan State. As for the other giant and fighting force of Qingxin Taoist Temple, Bai Qianchi, he is stationed in Qingxin Taoist Temple. He is the only son of Qingxin Taoist, and his current cultivation is at the peak of the early giant stage. In this way, with the addition of the 4 giant forces, Bayun City has as many as 40 giant and fighting forces, which is more than the number of giant and monsters and demon cultivators outside the city. Not long after the fight, the giant in the city even forced 5 giant and demon cultivators outside to summon several giant and demon corpses. At this moment, on a wall of Bayun City, however, a scene completely different from the battle here is taking place. Ling Pengyun, a powerful warrior of the 8th level of the Golden Core, was actually sitting in a reclining chair reading a book while fighting a monster of the 8th or 9th level of the Golden Core outside the city. He looked very leisurely, as if he was not in a battle, but was visiting Bayun City. Not far away, Bailing sect's leader, who had lived for more than 500 years and still had a bit of death on him, saw this scene and took a breath of cold air in his heart. If it was Ling Pengyun 100 years ago, he could still compete with him and would not be defeated by him. But now, I am afraid that Ling Pengyun can defeat him with one hand, or even kill him. The strength of this Ling Pengyun is really becoming more and more unfathomable. It is not an exaggeration to say that this person has the appearance of a nascent soul. I am afraid that the future of Yan State. Reading this, Bailing Zhenren had only one thought in his mind, that is, he must be low-key in the future, and never touch the brow of the Ling family. It would be even better if he could continue the 1,000-year alliance agreement with the Ling family in the early years. This will ensure that the Ling family will not harm his Bailing sect after 1,000 years. In the early years, the Ling family and the Bailing sect had formed a 1,000-year friendship during the destruction of the Zhuanyang sect. Even if the two forces are no longer on good terms, they will not tear each other apart within the agreed 1,000 years. This is related to the reputation of a force. On the other side, Ling Yanhong, the head of the Ling family next to Ling Pengyun, yawned while blocking a giant and mid-stage demon cultivator from the outside world. Then, he slowly walked to Ling Pengyun and said to him, "Pengyun, this battle cannot be fought with those giant and demons. It is really boring. I will go back to the city to refine a few furnaces of 3rd-level elixirs. Many 3rd-level spiritual medicines planted in the clan in recent years have matured, and they can be used to refine 3rd-level elixirs. The giant and mid-stage demon cultivator I blocked will be handed over to you." Ling Pengyun heard this, without thinking too much, nodded lightly, and agreed to this matter. Okay. After Ling Yanhong left, Ling Pengyun slowly put away the book in his hand, and sacrificed a magic weapon to stop the giant and middle-stage demon cultivator that Ling Yanhong had blocked earlier. Perhaps Ling Pengyun did not control this strength, and with just a few moves, the defensive-offensive build by the giant and middle-stage demon cultivator was broken. However, Ling Pengyun did not kill him, but just frowned. Almost missed. Then, he slowed down the offensive of the magic weapon, giving the giant and middle-stage demon cultivator a chance to breathe. And this situation also made the giant and middle-stage demon cultivator's face slightly happy. Chapter 987 Mutual Perfunctory Black Dragon Lake. At this point, how could he not see that Ling Pengyun had no intention of killing him, but only wanted to stop him? It seems that the Yan Kingdom really doesn't want to go to war with us. This is a good thing. Anyway, the sect only said that it would stop the Yan Kingdom from expanding its territory to the boundless vast swamp. Now, as long as the Yan Kingdom cultivators stationed in Bayun City do not leave the city, it can still be maintained as it is now. I can easily complete the task assigned by the sect. The other demon cultivators and monsters besieging Bayun City also saw this soon afterwards. They were no longer as desperate as before, and they all slowed down their offensive. The more than 40 giant and warriors defending the city, as well as the more than 20,000 cultivators from various major forces, plus the more than 30,000 recruited casual cultivators, were also happy to see this. The more than 40 giant and warriors also gave instructions not to kill too many monsters. The reason for this is that the major forces of Yan State are afraid of the same situation as the last monster beast riot. Because they killed too many monsters that bombarded Yan State, they attracted more monsters to besiege and put themselves in danger. Unless it is absolutely necessary, the two Yuanying forces, Zhuangqi sect and the Red Gold Bear clan, will definitely not send more troops to encircle Yan State. As early as the beginning of the monster beast riot, Ling Pengyun established contact with the upper Yuanying sect Xiangxing sect through the 3rd-level communication formation that Ling Pengyun arranged in the family during the last monster beast riot. He learned that Zhuangqi sect and the Red Gold Bear clan were trying their best to resist the troops of Xiangxing sect and had no extra manpower to send to Yan State, including during the last monster beast riot. In order to send more monsters to besiege Yan State, the Red Gold Bear clan almost went into danger. That is why the various forces of Yan State dared to drag it out and not take re-election. The Yan State side did not dare to take action for fear of attracting hatred. The demons were afraid to take action in order to perfunctorily follow the orders from above. The siege of Bayun City became a child's play. Both sides began to perfunctorily. The number of demon casualties was only a few hundred per day, and they were all weak key training demon beasts. Foundation building demon beasts rarely died. And you have to know that during the last war of the demon beast chaos, the number of demons who died every day was at least tens of thousands, and it was very common to have hundreds of thousands of demons killed or injured in a day. The 5 city defense formations of Bayun City were only slightly disturbed by 2 million demon beasts and magic cultivators every day. Judging from this progress, it would probably take at least decades for the demons to destroy the 5 city defense formations. But this relaxing day had not lasted long, and something unexpected happened. On this day, 11 escape lights suddenly flew from the azure sky and rushed to Yan State. Not long after, these 11 escape lights arrived near Bayun City, the site of the Yan State Demon Beast Chaos War. They also stopped. 11 huge monsters appeared. The leading monster was a dragon, with a body of 100 feet, covered with blue scales like fish scales, and a sharp horn on its forehead. Its aura had reached the realm of perfection of the golden elixir. The other 9 monsters behind it were also dragons, or half-dragons, and their cultivation was above the middle stage of the golden elixir. The other monster, which was completely different from them, was a sturdy bear monster, with claws of red gold, like fine iron, and looked extremely sharp. This bear was the famous red gold bear, but its cultivation was only in the middle stage of the golden elixir. At this time, the red gold bear in the middle stage of the golden elixir flew to the side of the leading dragon of 100 feet, and said to the dragon of 100 feet, "Ancestor Moyi, that is Bayun City. Going around Bayun City is the heartland of Yan State. Now, what should we do?" The 100-foot-long water dragon hesitated for a moment, and a bit of clarity flashed in its blue and mysterious eyes. It also said, "The city is protected by 3 third-level upper-grade formations and 2 third-level middle-grade formations. It is estimated that it will be difficult to break in a short time. Go directly into the heartland of Yan State, turn it upside down, force those golden elixirs in Bayun City out, and force them to leave Bayun City and return to the heartland of Yan State to garrison. When the time comes, we will unite with a group of siege demons to destroy Bayun City in one fell swoop and take back the Bayun Mountains that your clan lost 100 years ago. If there's a chance, take advantage of this opportunity to take back the entire territory of Yan State. It is not a bad idea." After the words fell, a few traces of fighting spirit appeared in the eyes of the old dragon Mo Yi. The red gold bear at the middle stage of the golden core next to him was overjoyed when he heard this. "Old ancestor, I'm sorry to bother you with this." The old Mo Yi Jiao looked at the red gold bear next to him with disdain and said sarcastically, "As long as we destroy Bayun City and take back the Bayun Mountains, you bunch of trash just don't lose that piece of land again." Of course. Please rest assured, old ancestor, as long as we take back that land, our clan will definitely send heavy troops to garrison it in the future." The red gold bear at the middle stage of the golden core heard this, but he didn't get angry at all, and still looked flattering, looking very useless. However, this is not because he has no backbone and deserves to be looked down upon. In fact, the old Mo Yi Jiao in front of him has a great origin. It is said that this old Mo Yi Jiao is the descendant of a Yuanying water Jiao, and that Yuanying water Jiao is said to be extremely powerful, even stronger than the old ancestor of the Red Gold Bear clan, the Yuanying realm Red Gold Old Bear. More importantly, this old Mo Jiao came from the Holy Land Black Jiao Lake in the boundless vast swamp. That place is the place where the Black Jiao Daojin, who has the cultivation of the God transformation, is said to practice Taoism. And it is said that this old Mo Jiao is also the descendant of the Black Jiao Daojin, but the generation gap is very large. With such an identity, let alone the red gold bear in the middle stage of the golden elixir here, even the old red gold bear in the Yuanying realm of the Red Gold Bear clan has to be polite and serve this ancestor of Moi. Otherwise, once the old Mo Jiao is displeased, although the Red Gold Bear clan will not be destroyed, the Red Gold Bear clan will definitely have a bad life in the boundless vast swamp in the future. Not to mention, This time the old Moijiao led the other 9 dragons and half-dragons to help their clan, so they must serve them well. As for the fact that the old dragon Moyu led the 9 middle-stage Jindan and above members of the same clan to come here, it was also to fulfill the order from above, to recapture the Baiyun Mountains, and to expand the territory of the demon clan. It is said that this order came from the ancestor of the Black Dragon Taoist. Therefore, the old dragon Moyu, who had completed the Jindan, was very concerned about this matter. The same was true for the other 9 middle-stage Jindan dragons, or half-dragons. Although this matter seemed to be unprofitable for them, if they could make a contribution, they would be able to appear in the eyes of the Black Dragon Taoist. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Although they all had dragon blood flowing in their bodies like the Black Dragon Taoist, there were many dragons in the Black Dragon Lake, and even more half-dragons were unimaginable. The Black Dragon Taoist was in seclusion all year round, and rarely appeared in the clan. Some of the same clan had never seen the Black Dragon Taoist once in their lives. Only those first-grade dragons with strong blood in the clan could appear in the eyes of the Black Dragon Taoist, and ordinary dragons with blood strength below the 2nd grade had no chance at all. In the past, once someone caught the eye of the Black Dragon Taoist Lord and was summoned by the Taoist Lord, they would eventually receive full support from their clan. If they were lucky, they would have a chance to become a nascent soul demon lord and enjoy a long life of thousands of years. This was also what the old Moyi dragon, who had reached the golden core perfection realm, wanted. After retracting his distracting thoughts, the old Moyi dragon, who had reached the golden core perfection realm, led his 9 clansmen who were at or above the middle golden core realm, as well as the red gold bear, who was at the middle golden core realm and was sent by the red gold bear clan to lead the way, and bypassed Baiyun City far away and went deep into the heart of Yan State. Horizontal Ellipsis. Chapter 988 Lingxiao's Trump Card. Not long after, in the heart of Yan State, Lingclan's territory, Lingxiao Mountain Range, in the south, close to the Bailing Gates territory, a white light suddenly appeared in the azure sky, revealing Lingxiao's figure. He used the Yin-Yang Huajuan treasure mirror alone to walk to the various territories of the family, searching for demons. The other cultivators stationed in the clan's territory went together. After all, if Lingxiao brought the other cultivators of the Ling clan, it would slow down the speed of patrolling this territory. At this moment, the Yin-Yang Huajuan treasure mirror in Lingxiao's hand flashed with spiritual light. At this moment, he saw this scene and frowned immediately. This situation would only appear if this treasure mirror detected a demon in the middle stage of the golden core or a stronger demon. If it's a demon beast in the middle stage of the golden core, it's not a big deal, but if it's the demon cultivators of the Xuanqi sect who have many powerful demon corpses, then we're in trouble. Lingxiao looked worried, but he looked at the things under the bulging clothes on his chest, and his mind was at ease. Then, he crushed the family token hanging on his waist, and then he pinched his fingers and cast a seal on the Yin-Yang Huaxun treasure mirror in his hand. The mirror also took off and continued to fly south. Just as he was about to leave the Lingxiao Mountains and enter the Bailingman territory, his eyes blessed by the pupil technique saw that something was wrong thousands of miles away in the direction of the Bailingman territory. He adjusted the Yin-Yang Huaxun treasure mirror in his hand and saw a black shadow passing quickly in the air at that location. It was a red gold bear demon with a body size of dozens of feet. According to the Yin-Yang Huaxun treasure mirror, its cultivation level should have just entered the middle stage of the golden core. It was for this reason that the red gold bear, who had mastered the superior breath-concealing escape technique, was sensed by the Yin-Yang Huaxun treasure mirror. At this moment, the red gold bear, which had turned into a black shadow and slid through the air, which was difficult for ordinary people to detect, also discovered Lingxiao's existence. Just when I wanted to enter the Ling family's territory to turn the world upside down, I didn't expect that a Ling family golden elixir would come to my door. Ancestor Mo Yi, your good start has come to me. I will kill that cultivator for you and present him to you. The red gold bear, which had turned into a black shadow, laughed wildly and increased its spiritual power to perform the escape technique. Its speed also increased a bit. However, before it had walked for long, a contemptuous and excited voice came from a void nearby. I'll come in person. As soon as these words fell, the void suddenly flashed with a wave, as if it was torn apart, and a blue scale dragon that was 100 feet long and as big as a small mountain sprang out from it. This dragon was the old dragon Mo Yi. Its eyes were full of greed as it looked at Lingxiao. Some saliva flowed from its ferocious mouth. It thought to itself, "I have been staying in Black Dragon Lake for thousands of years, but I have never seen such a strong living cultivator. Its flesh and blood must be fresh." Immediately, it turned into a stream of light with endless greed and rushed directly towards Lingxiao. Its speed was several times faster than that of the red gold bear in the middle stage of the golden elixir. In just a few breaths, it crossed thousands of miles of territory. Lingxiao, who was originally planning to fight the red gold bear in the middle stage of the golden elixir, saw a dragon suddenly jump out, and it was a water dragon with a perfect golden elixir. His face suddenly changed. How can there be such a strong dragon monster hidden? This dragon is with the red gold bear clan. It must be an enemy, but I don't know where this dragon came from. There are only so many golden elixir perfect monsters in the entire northern wilderness cultivation world, and he knows all the famous ones. But among those golden elixir perfect monsters, there was no old Moyi water dragon. However, he had seen some of them in the market, and soon he calmed down. Then, he quickly took out a blue beast bag from his arms and sacrificed his trump card. Suddenly, a blue-scaled water dragon that looked not much different from the old Moyi dragon appeared. This dragon was several times larger than the old Moyi dragon, a full 150 to 160 feet in size, and looked more ferocious. The momentum was even more overwhelming, and it also carried a king's aura, as if it regarded the world as nothing. "Senior Long Yuan, please help me kill this monster." Lingxiao then pleaded with a ferocious Long Yuan water dragon. Long Yuan Jiao King has been following Ling Pengyun since he failed to break through the nascent soul in this Hongzhou world more than 10 years ago. After all, the White Shadow Secret Realm is only open for 3 months every 60 years. By the time it attacks the nascent soul and comes out of the closed state, the secret realm has already been closed, and Lang Jiao can't go back to the secret realm. Only after 50 years, the secret realm will be opened. At the beginning of the monster rebellion, Ling Pengyun thought that Lingxiao, who had the Yin-Yang Huaxun treasure mirror and other magic treasures, needed to go to various places in the family to search for the monsters that sneaked into the hinterland to cause chaos. He was afraid that there would be danger, so Ling Pengyun handed Long Jiao, who was still in the process of healing, to Lingxiao for protection. At this time, Long Jiao, who had just come out of the outside world and was a little confused, looked over in the direction of Lingxiao's pointing and the powerful dragon breath. When he saw the old Moyi Jiao coming to kill, his eyes suddenly lit up and a touch of joy appeared. However, this was not because he was happy to see his own clan. Water dragon? It's still in the state of perfect golden elixir. Judging from the strength of dragon blood, its aura has reached the peak of the 3rd grade and is about to enter the 2nd grade. It is rare. It is even more. A great tonic for me. If I can swallow it, the injuries to my consciousness and meridians caused by the failure of the impact on the nascent soul will be restored in a few years. Although it used a quasi-4th-level Zuanshan water to suppress the sea of consciousness that was about to collapse and the countless violent spiritual powers that poured into its body due to the spiritual energy. After it failed to condense the nascent soul that year, it successfully saved its life. However, its sea of consciousness and the meridians in its body were severely damaged. If it follows the steps and uses demonic power to warm it up, it will take at least 300 years to have a chance to recover. By that time, the lifespan of the Dragon Abyss Dragon King, who has lived for more than 1,000 years, is probably not much, and it can be said that it will have to live the rest of its life with injuries. The Dragon Abyss Dragon King naturally does not want to do this. It wants to change this situation very much. However, when Long Jiao thought of his current serious injury, he could not help but sigh, and then he said to Lingxiao beside him, "I am now seriously injured, and my strength is only 30% of my full victory. With this strength, it is difficult to kill the nameless dragon. If your father were here, I would join forces with him and have a chance. Now, with my ability, I can only ensure that you don't die and leave this place." Lingxiao frowned slightly when he heard this. "The cultivators stationed in the family of my Ling family are about to arrive. Can you hold on for a while, and then we can see if we can kill the dragon." Chapter 989, Dual Dragons Fight. He didn't think he could escape the pursuit of the giant and perfect Moyi old flood dragon with his own strength. This kind of monster is the top existence among giant. Even 10 giant and early stage cultivators like him may not be enough to kill the Moyi old flood dragon. Under such circumstances, He could only waste the opportunity of the Dragon King Long Yuan to attack. But he didn't want to let the Dragon King Long Yuan attack this time, just to save his life, but not to achieve anything. Hearing this, the Dragon King Long Yuan looked at Lingxiao and said in a deep voice, "Okay, be careful. I promised your father that I would not let anything happen to you. If anything happens to you, your father might do something. Also, there is a half-dragon in the middle stage of the golden core hiding in the dark in the distance. I will stop this half-dragon. As for the red gold bear in the middle stage of the golden core, you can figure it out yourself." After saying that, Long Jiao Wang's eyes turned cold, and he used the White Shadow Sextop middle level escape technique White Shadow Escape Technique, turning into a white shadow and disappearing directly in front of Lingxiao. Lingxiao, who saw Long Jiao Wang, a dragon whose cultivation level had entered the pseudo-infant realm, perform the breath-retaining technique for the first time, looked at the motionless yin-yang huaxing treasure mirror in his hand, and his eyes were slightly startled. If this method is used to assassinate cultivators or demons below the late Jinden stage, it will definitely be a great killing weapon. After the troublesome matter of the monster beast rebellion is over, I must comprehend the White Shadow Escape Technique. At this moment, the Jinden perfect Moyi old water dragon, who was thinking about Lingxiao's flesh and blood, saw the appearance of the Dragon Abyss Dragon King with an aura that reached the pseudo-infant state, and was also shocked like Lingxiao just now. Even when it saw the Dragon Abyss Dragon King performing a special method and disappearing in its eyes, as if it did not exist in this world, it was alert and stopped the escape technique, and immediately used various defensive means to protect itself airtight. Lingxiao estimated that it had at least nearly 10 defensive means around its body. Even so, the old water dragon of Moyi was extremely uneasy and turbulent. Although the Dragon Abyss Dragon King had disappeared, it could feel the strong aura of the Dragon Abyss Dragon King clearly just now. How could a pseudo-infant dragon with a bloodline strength of the second level appear in the hands of the cultivators of the Ling family? It had never seen the Dragon Abyss Dragon King in the Black Dragon Lake, the strongest dragon clan in the northern wilderness cultivation world. The Dragon Abyss Dragon King was summoned by the delicious cultivator he had taken a fancy to, which meant that the strange dragon with a higher cultivation level and stronger bloodline than it, and the same water dragon as it, would also be its enemy. Even among the dragon clan of the Black Dragon Lake, there were not many dragons with bloodline strength of the second level. This was a real nascent soul seedling. At this time, the huge dragon body of the Dragon Abyss Dragon King had appeared behind the old Moyu dragon floating in the air. The Dragon Abyss Dragon King also swung his thick and huge tail and slammed it hard on the defensive light curtain around the old Moyi water dragon. Under the huge force, 3 defensive light curtains were directly shattered. The Dragon Abyss Dragon also rushed over. During this time, it also summoned the mimicry spiritual treasure Thousand Flowing Water. This treasure turned into a big river, constantly washing the defensive light curtain around the old water dragon of Moe from all directions. It and Ling Pengyun and other strong men, the prototype of the spiritual treasure Moe and 4-fist gloves, which they obtained by killing the Moe and Hurricane Ape King, were also summoned by it. However, the boxing gloves have changed their appearance at this moment, turning into 4 sharp claws, which are worn on the remaining 4 feet of the Dragon Abyss Dragon King, making the power of the 4 feet extremely strong. Obviously, the boxing gloves have been refined by the Dragon King. The Dragon Abyss Dragon King opened fire at full power, and there were 2 prototypes of spiritual treasures to help, which also caused the other several defensive light curtains around the old water dragon of Moy to be turbulent. Although the old water dragon of Moy noticed that the Dragon Abyss Dragon King's breath was weak and he might be injured, the strength shown by the Dragon Abyss Dragon King was still several times stronger than it, and its back suddenly felt cold. In order to avoid death at the hands of the Dragon Abyss Flood Dragon King, it had no choice but to grit its teeth and use all kinds of attack methods to meet the attack. It was called the descendant of the nascent soul, and its family background was rich. It also had a prototype of a spiritual treasure, which was a long flag. It summoned a dragon phantom with the strength of a perfect golden elixir from it. With the help of the phantom of the dragon, it was able to fight against the Dragon Abyss Flood Dragon King. At this time, a fire dragon python in the middle stage of the golden elixir, which was originally hidden in the dark, saw the old dragon Moyi in distress, and it quickly appeared to help. This was exactly what the Dragon Abyss Flood Dragon King wanted, and it also controlled the prototype of the spiritual treasure, Jin Lishu, to roll up and directly trap the fire dragon python. The first red gold bear in the middle stage of the golden elixir was stalked by Ling Qingsha and the middle stage of the golden elixir demon corpse given by his father Ling Pengyun, as well as the early stage of the golden elixir Feng Yingpen. In fact, because the middle stage of the golden elixir demon corpse in his hand was stronger, Ling Qingsha even suppressed it and beat it. The precarious red gold bear already had some regrets in his heart. If I had known earlier, I shouldn't have been greedy for the fact that there were more cultivators left in the Ling family and more mortals in the territory under their command, and followed the old ancestor Mo Yi and the fire dragon python to the Ling family to cause chaos. This time, it came here with the old water dragon of Mo Yi and the fire dragon python in the middle stage of the golden elixir to cause chaos in the Ling family, attract the Ling family's golden elixir stationed in Baiyun City, Baiyun Mountains, the front line of Yan State, to return, and take the opportunity to station those Ling family golden elixirs. In this way, the defense force of Baiyun City was reduced. Before, the other 8.5 dragons or dragons that followed it to Yan State were divided into 3 teams, and went to the other 3 major golden elixir forces in Yan State, Bailingmen, Yaowang Valley, and Qingshi Taoist Temple, to cause chaos. During the battle, Ling Qingsha had the upper hands in the battle, so he took out the communication mirror and passed the details of the situation to Ling Pengyun in Baiyun City, Baiyun Mountains, a million miles away, through several other clansmen who had communication mirrors. Baiyun City, on a city wall. A water dragon with a perfect golden elixir is rare. I think its dragon blood is also rich. If it can be kept, it is estimated that a few water dragons can be cultivated, or a single water dragon with strong blood can be cultivated. Ling Pengyun's eyes lit up. Immediately, he called Yan City and other Ling family golden elixir, and each of them summoned one more golden elixir demon corpse. After blocking the golden elixir demons that he was fighting, he turned into a beam of light and flew out of Baiyun City. The key training and foundation building monsters encountered on the way were all afraid of Ling Pengyun's aura, and the giant and monster supervising the battle did not order them to stop Ling Pengyun, so they hurriedly moved away from Ling Pengyun. As a result, the monsters seemed to make way for Ling Pengyun and watched him leave. Chapter 990, 10,000 Years of Agreement. Another hour or 2 passed. In the heart of Yan State, Lingxiao Mountains bordered a barren land adjacent to Bailingmen. A green light suddenly appeared in a patch of grass, revealing Ling's frost spirit tree, which was in the middle stage of the golden core. The frost spirit tree had already developed intelligence, and after receiving Ling Qingsha's request for help, it immediately rushed over from the ice and snow valley in the ice and snow forest, where it cultivated its Taoism. From the treetop, it looked at the fierce battle thousands of miles away in the sky, and its eyes were fixed on the golden core perfect Mo Yi old water dragon, who was fighting with Long Yuan Jiao Wang. It knew about the existence of Long Yuan Jiao Wang. After all, it had participated in the battle to destroy the 3 mutant demon clans in the White Shadow secret realm. It also knew that Long Yuan Jiao Wang was considered one of its own, so it had no hostility towards Long Yuan Jiao Wang. However, it felt an extreme sense of danger from Mo Yi old water dragon. This made it hesitate whether to step forward and participate in this battle. After hesitating for a while, it fixed its treetop on Ling Qingsha in the battlefield. It shook its treetop as if sighing, and then used the Jiamu escape technique to rush over and join the battlefield to help Ling Qingsha bombard the red gold bear in the middle stage of the golden elixir. Long Yuan Jiaoying didn't need its help for the time being. Kill the weak first. The red gold bear in the middle stage of the golden elixir was the breakthrough point of this battle. Soon after, the great elder Ling Pengyun, who was in charge of the family's clan land, also rushed over, and he brought 2 demon corpses in the middle stage of the golden elixir. With the addition of Ling Pengyun and the 2 demon corpses in the middle stage of the golden elixir, the red gold bear, which had just entered the middle stage of the golden elixir, soon fell under the siege of everyone. Ling Qingsha, the middle stage giant and demon corpse he controlled, Feng Yingpen, the middle stage giant and frost spirit tree, Ling Pengyun, and the 2 giant and demon corpses he brought with him, a total of 7 people, also joined forces to help the Dragon Abyss Flood Dragon King, and bombarded the old Mo Yi Flood Dragon and the middle stage giant and fire flood python. If it was a one-on-one fight, the old Mo Yi Flood Dragon would not be afraid of Ling Qingsha and others. It could easily kill Ling Qingsha and others, but there was a Dragon Abyss Flood Dragon King next to it. It was already at a disadvantage in the fight with the Dragon Abyss Flood Dragon King, and even with the help of the Fire Flood Python, the situation did not change. Now, Ling Changsha and the other 7 came to help the Dragon Abyss Flood Dragon King again. With their combined strength, they were not weak either, and the situation of the old Moyi Flood Dragon became more and more critical. The half-flood python followed the footsteps of the red gold bear and was killed here. Here, the old Moyi Flood Dragon was the only invader left. It was also surrounded by the crowd. Although it was difficult for everyone to kill it in a short time, it was no problem to entangle it. After nearly half a day, Ling Pengyun, who was in Baiyun City a million miles away, received the news and rushed over without stopping. He used the White Shadow Escape technique, which was a top-level intermediate magical power. It is also worth mentioning that the other Jinden forces stationed in Baiyun City also received the news and sent troops back to the hinterland. This situation has greatly reduced the number of Jinden cultivators in Baiyun City, but fortunately, Yan Sidai and other Ling family Jinden who still stayed in the city have many Jinden demon corpses in their hands. They rely on these Jinden demon corpses to stabilize Baiyun City. At this moment, Ling Pengyun, who hurried over, saw that the old dragon of Moyi was indeed a water dragon with perfect Jinden, and his heart was even happier. Immediately, he joined forces with everyone and planned to kill the old dragon of Moyi here. The old Moi dragon felt the attack strength of Ling Pengyun, the 8th level Jinden cultivator, which was so strong that it was at the level of pseudo-infant, and was shocked. The attacks of Longyun Jiaoang and others around him were also not weak. It did not dare to think too much and quickly reported its identity. I come from the Black Dragon Lake, the holy land of the Boundless Days Demon Clan. My great-grandfather is the Yuanying Demon King. He has now left the Black Dragon Lake and is sneaking into the territory of the 3 major immortal sects in the mouths of you, righteous people. If you dare to touch a hair on my head, my great-grandfather will definitely come here to avenge me. If you don't want to die, let me go, and I can forget everything today. Ling Pengyun, Ling Changsha, and the great elder Ling Pengyun, the 3 Ling family Jinden, all trembled when they heard this, and the hair on the 3 people stood up. At this moment, Ling Changsha and Ling Pengyun also looked at Ling Pengyun. Dad, what should we do about this? Ling Changsha frowned and asked. Ling Pengyun hesitated for a moment, and did not directly answer Ling Changsha, but asked the old dragon Moyi. You, the Black Dragon Lake, broke the agreement, not only left the boundless vast swamp without permission, but also left the Black Dragon Lake. Aren't you afraid that the 3 major immortal sects of the righteous path will lead us to join forces to kill your clan? The old dragon Moyi said contemptuously. Just based on the righteousness of your northern wilderness immortal cultivation world, how could our clan be afraid? It seems that my Black Dragon Lake Dragon clan has not appeared in the world for too long. I didn't expect that the world would think that my clan would be afraid of the 3 major immortal gates. What a joke. 10,000 years ago, if you, the ancestors of the righteous cultivators, had not had the help of several other major forces in the immortal cultivation world, how could my Black Dragon Lake Dragon clan be defeated in that battle? How could my clan give in and give you a piece of land, and also make an agreement for the 100-year monster beast chaos, and also promise not to say the Black Dragon Lake words? Let me go quickly, otherwise, when my great-grandfather arrives, it will definitely destroy you and others. Ling Pengyun's heart trembled when he heard this. He just asked coldly. Did your clan really send Yuanying dragons to attack the 3 major immortal gates during this monster beast chaos? Moyi old dragon said. Of course, they are just a bunch of dogs. Our clan has allowed those 3 big dogs to be arrogant for 10,000 years. What's wrong with our clan attacking these 3 big immortal gates? I am not afraid to tell you that our clan has sent out 3 Yuanying dragons this time, and my great-grandfather is only one of them. You can weigh the seriousness of this matter yourself. It said this because it wanted to scare Ling Pengyun and others away by attacking the 3 Yuanyings of the same clan who had many Yuanying's engines sitting in the 3 big immortal gates. Words are not enough. Do you dare to swear to ensure the truth? Ling Pengyun said naturally. Seeing this, the old Moyi dragon was slightly happy and felt that there was some hope of escape. In addition, the 3 Yuanyings of the same clan attacking the immortal gate were true. It did not hesitate and immediately swore an oath on this matter to ensure that it was true. When Ling Pengyun saw that the old Moyi dragon was so decisive, his face was uncertain. He had heard that 10,000 years ago, when the cultivators of the 3 major sects in the northern wilderness cultivation world were developing the northern wilderness cultivation world, they had the support of several other major forces in the cultivation world. That was why they were able to repel countless monsters in the boundless swamp during the battle to open up the territory and establish the northern wilderness cultivation world. And what happened back then, combined with what the Moyi water dragon said, and the fact that a large number of dragons entered the Yan state to cause chaos, he had more guesses in his mind. If what the old Moyi dragon said is true, I'm afraid that the dragon clan in the Black Dragon Lake is now sure to destroy the agreement that was made with the three major sects. No. It should be said that the Dragon Clan is sure to destroy the agreement that was made with the other major forces in the cultivation world behind the three major sects 10,000 years ago. This amount of information is extremely huge, one link after another. If what the old Moyi dragon said is true, the chain reaction it brings is enough to turn the entire northern wilderness cultivation world upside down. The other major forces in the cultivation world that have never entered the northern wilderness cultivation world will definitely show up. After a long while, Ling Pengyun finally recovered. After hesitating for a moment, Ling Pengyun was still reluctant to believe what Moyi Lao Shui Jiao said. After all, the implications were too great. Moreover, although the oath had some binding force, it was not actually that great. The real binding force was the Yuan Han contract, but the Yuan Han contract was not very effective at this time. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 991 Secret. Therefore, in order to ensure that what the old dragon Moyi said was true, he said to Ling Changsha and others around him in a deep voice, "I'll go and confirm the truth." At this moment, whether to kill the old dragon Moyi was not too important to Ling Pengyun. What he was really worried about was that the Black Dragon Lake would reappear in the northern wilderness immortal cultivation world. It is said that this clan has a black dragon ancestor who is a Taoist master of the transformation god. You know, at present, there is not even a cultivator in the late nascent soul stage in the northern wilderness immortal cultivation world. Even if the forces behind the three major immortal gates will help, if the black dragon ancestor has greatly increased his strength in recent years, everything will be over. It is possible that it will not be long before the entire northern wilderness immortal cultivation world will disappear. After saying that, Ling Pengyun hurriedly performed the escape technique and left the battlefield. The first thing he did was to go to the family and put all the spiritual objects in the family library into a storage treasure with a large space, such as a storage spirit bead string. He took all the spirit beads that he could carry with him, and temporarily gave the ones that he couldn't carry to some trusted family elder stationed in the family. In addition, he also instructed those family elders to gather the cultivators in the family, prepare the flying boat, and prepare to leave Yan State and even the northern wilderness immortal cultivation world. Although those family elders didn't know why Ling Pengyun made such arrangements, as the strongest person in the family, Ling Pengyun must know a lot of things, and they also inexplicably thought that Ling Pengyun must have a reason for doing this. For a while, those family elders became panicked. Ling Pengyun couldn't care so much, and immediately, he went straight to Shiangsing State under the Shiangsing sect, the superior sect of Yan State where the family was located. Yan State is thousands of miles away from Shiangsing State. Even if Ling Pengyun's current spiritual power is pure enough to be comparable to that of a pseudo-infant, the speed of his escape technique will not be weaker than that of a pseudo-infant. He has also learned the White Shadow escape technique, which is extremely fast, enough to reach about 1.5 million miles a day. He rushed for more than half a month before crossing Shiangsing State and arriving at the border city Qijin City that resists the monsters. He found his good friend Liu Haojin stationed here. Liu Haojin is the contemporary Yuanying seedling of Shiangsing sect. His formation is extremely mysterious. As early as 100 years ago, he had already entered the quasi-4th level of formation, and his cultivation had also reached the realm of golden elixir perfection. During the last monster rebellion, Liu Haojin also helped Yan State to resist the invasion of the Red Gold Bear clan. It was also in that battle that Ling Pengyun established some friendship with him. Long before the monster beast riot began, Ling Pengyun sent someone to establish contact with Liu Haojin. He also learned early that Liu Haojin would be stationed in Qijin City, the border city of Shiangsing country, during the monster beast riot. After Ling Pengyun found Liu Haojin, He kept it short and told him about the Yen country being found by several dragons and pythons from the Black Dragon Lake Dragon clan, and the 3 Yuanying dragons attacking the 3 major immortal gates that he learned from Moyi Old Jiao. He asked Liu Haojin if he knew the current situation of the 3 major immortal gates, and wanted to confirm whether what Moyi Old Jiao said was true. After hearing this, Liu Haojin sighed helplessly. This is most likely true. Recently, some dragons and pythons from the Black Dragon Lake have appeared in the Xiangxing Kingdom under my sect's jurisdiction and are causing chaos. For this reason, my sect has also sent a number of disciples back to the heartland of Xiangxing Kingdom, and only then did we put down this matter. I have also asked my master about this. Although my master did not say much about it, judging from the look on my master's face when I told him about it. I guess my master knows something. Combined with what you said now, I'm afraid that my master also knows that the 3 major sects have been targeted by nascent soul dragons. Ling Pengyun's face turned dark. This is troublesome. It is indeed troublesome, but judging from my master's current attitude, I am afraid the situation will not be too critical, otherwise my master would not continue to let us guard this city and resist the invasion of the Red Gold Bear clan. After all, if the Black Dragon Lake really reappears in the world, this city will be like tofu in the eyes of those Black Dragon Lake Dragon clan. I am afraid that my master would have asked me and the disciples of the sect to withdraw to the territories of the 3 major immortal gates. Liu Haojin guessed. That's true, but this matter must be prevented. Thank you Brother Liu for telling me these secrets. I will repay you in the future. There is also a golden elixir perfect dragon trapped in my clan's territory. I will go back to deal with this matter first. Ling Pengyun's face looked better and he said, it's a small matter. You will know about it soon. As for the trapped dragon in your clan, it's better to release it. Before, when Master ordered our disciples to deal with those Black Dragon Lake dragons, half-dragons, or demon pythons that broke into our clan's territory, Master only asked us to kill those half-dragons and demon pythons, but not a single dragon. We just drove it out of our clan's territory and gave up. I guess Master also thought that dragons are rare monsters, even in Black Dragon Lake. There are probably not many, and he is afraid that killing a dragon will cause the wrath of Black Dragon Lake. Liu Haojin remembered something and reminded him. Understood, fellow Taoist Liu. After Ling Pengyun thanked Liu Haojin with gratitude, he quickly returned to his clan and rushed to the previous battlefield. The old dragon of Moyi was still trapped by the powerful dragon King Pengyun and others, and it was difficult to escape. Ling Pengyun had considered everything on the way. When he saw the old dragon Moyi, he took out a 3rd grade superior Yuan Han contract and forced the old dragon Moyi to sign it. Once this contract is signed, you can leave. The old dragon Moyi saw that Ling Pengyun, who had left to get information, was going to let it go as soon as he returned. It immediately felt confident. It didn't bother to look at the Yuan Han contract, and its embarrassed look was a little less. It said arrogantly, fellow Taoist Ling, what I said before was true, right? Does your clan want to join my clan? I will guarantee you. As long as you follow me to conquer the Yen Kingdom, I will guarantee you a good fortune. After saying that, the old dragon Moyi looked at the dragon Abyss Dragon King calmly and said, and fellow Taoist Jialong, your bloodline is as strong as that of a 2nd grade Jialong. This kind of bloodline is extraordinary. We both have Jialong bloodline, and I really don't want to see you wandering around in the outside world and wasting your bloodline. Why don't you follow me back to my Black Jiao Lake? Anyway, your cultivation has reached the pseudo-infant stage, and you have already tried to reach the nascent soul stage once. The probability of reaching the nascent soul stage in the future is also high. Who knows, Taoist friend, you can rely on this advantage to gain the appreciation of the nascent soul ancestors in my clan, and in the future you can get some nascent soul spiritual objects and try to reach the nascent soul stage. Chapter 992 Choice. Why are you talking so much nonsense? If you don't sign, you will die. Ling Pengyun was already feeling a little aggrieved. Hearing the words of the old Moyi Jiao, who was a dog that had lost its home, he was furious and cursed directly. The old Moyi Jiao wanted to persuade the rare giant in middle stage frost spirit tree to follow it back to the Black Jiao Lake, but when he heard Ling Pengyun's threatening words and Ling Pengyun's murderous intent that had locked it, it shuddered. It didn't dare to say a word. It even immediately cast a few more defensive spells around its body to prevent Ling Pengyun from really taking action. Then, It saw that Ling Pengyun had no other actions, but just stared at it coldly, and it became even more uneasy. It didn't dare to delay, and quickly took the Yuanhan contract handed over by Ling Pengyun and began to read it. The content of this contract was probably that it was not allowed to retaliate against the Ling family in various ways in the future, nor was it allowed to reveal the strength of the Ling family. This request was not harsh, and now that it was in danger, it had no choice but to obey. Immediately, it passed a trace of its spiritual consciousness into the Yuanhan contract. The contract also transformed into a blood red mark and flew into the sea of consciousness of the moiled water dragon. In the future, if the moiled water dragon violates the content of the contract, its sea of consciousness will be smashed by this mark. Then, it whispered. Fellow Taoist Ling, it was all a misunderstanding just now. I was just talking nonsense. I signed this contract. Can you let me go? Ling Pengyun looked at the moiled water dragon with cold eyes, his eyes fixed on the illusionary dragon flag in the form of a spiritual treasure next to it. This time, it wasted the opportunity of the Dragon Abyss Dragon King to make a move. Although Ling Pengyun did not dare to kill the moiled water dragon, it was impossible that he would get nothing this time. Leave this flag behind, and you can go. The moiled water dragon was extremely reluctant, but compared to the illusionary dragon flag in the form of a spiritual treasure, it cared more about its own life. After hesitating for a while, it reluctantly gave up and handed the flag to Ling Pengyun. Ling Pengyun kept his word. After getting the flag, he directly stepped aside and asked Longyun Jiaoang and other strong men to retreat. Seeing this, moiled water Jiao did not dare to stay for long, and quickly performed the escape technique, turning into a stream of light and flying away from here. As for the giant and middle stage fire dragon python and the red gold bear corpse that had followed it here before, it did not dare to ask for them, so it was left on the battlefield. At this moment, the only two cultivators here, the great elder Ling Pengyun and Ling Qingsha, also asked Ling Pengyun one after another whether the reason for releasing moiled Jiao this time was because what moiled Jiao said before about the nascent soul dragon was true. Ling Pengyun did not hide and told him about his trip to Xiangxing country. For a moment, the great elder Ling Pengyun and Ling Qingsha both frowned, and their faces were full of solemnity. When the Dragon Abyss Jiao King heard this, his brows were filled with fear. During the time when Ling Pengyun went to Xiangxing country, he learned a lot about the holy Black Jiao Lake and the boundless Kangmang Lake through the great elders Ling Pengyun and Ling Qingsha. He probably knew how powerful the Jialong clan in this lake was and how high their status was in the boundless Kangmang Lake. As a Jialong himself, he also understood how powerful the Jialongs in the nascent soul realm were. Such beings must have strong Jialong blood. Once they started fighting, they would probably be several times stronger than the nascent soul demon kings of the same level. Even if he was a pseudo-infant realm with 30% of the strength of the nascent soul realm, he could not guarantee that he could survive a few moves at the hands of the nascent soul realm Jialongs. He also did not think that because he was also a Jialong, he could get the goodwill of the Jialongs in the Black Jiao Lake. On the contrary, the malice between the two sides was probably greater. After all, if an ordinary dragon could obtain its flesh and blood, it would be enough to make a dragon with a bloodline strength of only the weakest 5th grade reach at least the 3rd grade. If it has better qualifications, it is possible that its bloodline strength can enter the 2nd grade. And if a dragon with a bloodline strength of the same 2nd grade obtains its flesh and blood, it may also have a chance to help its bloodline try to reach the 1st grade dragon bloodline strength. Such a temptation, Longyun Jiaowang does not believe that the dragons in the Black Jiao Lake can resist. For a moment, what it wanted most in its heart was to return to the White Shadow Lake and the White Shadow Secret Realm. The outside world is too dangerous, I want to go home. Thinking of this, it also asked Ling Pengyun. Daoao, it seems that the northern wilderness Xiuxin realm is about to be in chaos. Why don't we leave this Xiuxin realm? Ling Pengyun said sternly. My Ling family is big and powerful, with tens of thousands of clansmen and many spiritual veins. How can we leave? If you leave today, Brother Longyun, you will never enter the White Shadow Secret Realm in the future. Don't forget who took the risk of being killed by the Orthodox Taoist Alliance and took you to the Orthodox Taoist Alliance to seek for you to resist the nascent soul tribulation thunder array. Don't forget that because of this matter, you still owe me 3 opportunities to help you. Now, resisting the old Moijiao for my son is only one time. There are still 2 more opportunities for help, but you haven't paid it back yet. It's not certain whether this crisis will occur. Brother, you'd better not make a decision easily." When the Dragon Abyss Jiao King heard this threat, he was angry, but more of it was ashamed. Yes. At the beginning, Ling Pengyun and other Ling family cultivators did take some risks to go to the Orthodox Taoist alliance to help it attack the nascent soul. Now, it still owes the Ling family. If it leaves alone at this time, it is really a bit unreasonable. Furthermore, it is still uncertain whether the reappearance of the Black Dragon Lake will completely disrupt the entire Northern Wilderness Immortal Cultivation world. At present, only 3 nascent soul dragons have appeared in the Black Dragon Lake, and the situation is still under control. Thinking a lot, Longyearbyen Dragon King said, "Brother Ling, don't think too much. If Brother Ling doesn't leave, I will definitely not leave this place." Ling Pengyun did not reply too much, but looked towards the direction of the Ling family's land, feeling extremely heavy. If he said he wanted to leave, he wanted to take his family with him more than anyone else. This is also the safest way. However, the Ling family currently has 6 lands, including the Lingxiao Mountains, the Purple Scorpion Ridge, half of the Ice and Snow Forest, the Lingxiao Thousand Star Lake and the Bayun Mountains, the Stepping Cloud Ridge, and the Bayun Mountains. The spiritual veins under his command have already exceeded 10,000. Among them, there are as many as 10 precious 3rd-level spiritual veins. They are Lingxiao Mountain, the Clan Mountain in the garrison, Linghuo Mountain with a 3rd-order fire vein, the Zhengjin Refining Treasure Pond with a 3rd-order spirit vein given by Bishan's Henrin in his early years, one in Zixi Ridge, one in the Ice and Snow Valley in the Ice and Snow Forest, one in Lingxiao Kaiangxing Lake, one in the Taiyan Ridge and Taiyan Valley, and 3 in the Bayun Mountains. These spirit veins are extremely precious, and this large amount of spirit veins can also bring endless benefits to the Ling family every year. Once the Ling family leaves, it will be difficult to take them all away. And how will the Ling family survive in other cultivation realms? Other cultivation realms are not as easy to mix as the Northern Wilderness cultivation realm, and the realms are easy to expand. Chapter 993, Staying and Letting Go in Bayun Mountains. By then, if the Ling family wants to restore the family's current prosperity in other cultivation worlds, it may not be achieved even if it takes countless years. Once leaving, it means that nearly 200 years of hard work will be turned into ashes. Ling Pengyun really can't bear to leave. He still wants to defend. He wants to defend this land that can bring a better future to the Ling family. He also wants to defend this land that can bring endless benefits to himself. After a long time, he came back to his senses, and his eyes became very firm at this moment. Then, he asked his son Ling Chengsha and the elder Ling Pengyun to collect the Dragon Abyss Jiao King and the demon corpses they brought. He also ordered the Frost Spirit Tree, a family spirit tree in the middle stage of the Golden Core, to rush back to the Ice and Snow Valley where it was stationed. Soon, only Ling Pengyun, the elder Ling Pengyun, and Ling Pengyun's son Ling Chengsha were left here. Grandpa Pengyun, do you have any plans for the current situation? Seeing Ling Pengyun's posture, the elder Ling Pengyun asked. Yes. Pengyun, you will gather those good seedlings who have just entered the Tao but have shown talent and are now stationed in the clan's territory. In addition, you will personally visit the major territories of the family and bring back all the family's giant and seedlings and some trustworthy clansmen who were stationed in those territories during the monster chaos. The number of people is set at 1,000. And your task, Chengsha, is to cooperate with the Longyearbyen Jiao King in your body to escort that group of good seedlings, go north by sea, cross the desolate sea, and go to the boundless sea to cultivate immortals. Send that group of clansmen to the 2 branches of the family there, the Huojiao sect and the Jin family, to avoid the situation in this part of the immortal cultivation world from being out of control, and leave some fire for the family. Speaking of this, there was a bit more complexity in Ling Pengyun's eyes when he looked at Ling Chengsha. After you finish this, Chengsha, don't come back. This is the token of the White Shadow Secret Realm. You can enter that place in 50 years. Go to the entrance we went to that year. Use this token and the method recorded in the book to open the secret realm. My black water turtle is in the secret realm. The black armor turtle has extraordinary qualifications. Like you, it has condensed a superior golden elixir. If this place encounters an accident, whether the family can recover to its current strength in the future depends on you two. Peng Chu and Peng Shan from the branch are both your uncles and are much older than you. They have rich experience in handling various matters. When you encounter problems in the future, listen to their opinions more. Go and arrange this matter. After hearing this, the elder Ling Pengyun and Ling Xiangsha trembled. Uncle Pengyun, is it really going to come to this? The elder Ling Pengyun said in a low voice. This is not something we can intervene in, and it is even difficult for us to participate in the upper-level decision-making. If we cannot control something, there will be infinite possibilities. Early preparation is also a way out. Ling Pengyun said. Then Uncle Pengyun, what should we do with the Bayun Mountains? Should we give it to the Red Gold Bear clan to protect themselves? Ling Pengyun knew the importance of this matter, sighed lightly, and talked about another matter. Before, the old Moyijiao had said that this time it would lead a group of Jindan Jia along, half Jiao, and the Red Gold Bear to the territory of Yan State to cause chaos, in order to track the Jindan stationed in Bayun City on the front line of the Bayun Mountains to leave the city, and then kill them to reduce the defense force of Bayun City. In the end, they broke through Bayun City and took back the Bayun Mountains that belonged to the demon clan 100 years ago. Even the old Moyijiao wanted to destroy the Yan State. Unfortunately, something unexpected happened. The old Moyijiao ran into Ling Pengyun and Longyun Jiaoang, and the matter became nonsense. However, although the matter was resolved. However, no matter what, the trip of Moyilao Jiao was arranged by Yuaning Jiao King in the boundless and vast Holy Land Black Jiao Lake. Ling Pengyun was also a little afraid that if the White Cloud Mountains were not recaptured by the Red Gold Bear clan, it would attract the attention of the Yuaning Demon King of the Black Jiao Lake. The Demon Clan is originally a group of bloodthirsty beasts. Giving up the White Cloud Mountains will not change anything. The Xianxing sect does the same. With a Bayun City in the White Cloud Mountains with many spiritual veins and many formations, if the Black Jiao Lake Jialong clan really intends to stir up a big turmoil that concerns the entire northern wilderness Xiuxin world in the future, our clan can also rely on that place to attract some demons and increase the possibility of us defending the family's territory. Ling Pengyun said sternly. Hearing this, Ling Pengyun said nothing more and became silent, but his face was full of sorrow. However, when he thought of his only son Ling Wenhu, who was gifted and powerful and was currently in this Hongzhou Xiuxin world instead of the northern wilderness Xiuxin world, he felt more at ease. At this moment, Ling Xiangsha clenched his fists, and there were traces of blood in his eyes. He just said in a deep voice, "Don't worry, Dad." After saying that, he followed Ling Pengyun to fly to the clan land. Ling Pengyun listened to the words echoing in his ears, and a smile rose on his face. This child has grown up a lot. Then, he rushed to the Bayun Mountains. In the Bayun Mountains, the front line of the Yan Kingdom Monster Rebellion, and the Bayun City. After a month, Bayun City is still the same. However, there are fewer Jindan cultivators in the city, and more Jindan demon corpses. The cultivators defending the city still only defend and do not attack, while the demons and demon cultivators attacking the city are perfunctory. After Ling Pengyun returned to the city, he asked Yan Sai and others to withdraw several demon corpses, and he used offensive means to block several Jindan monsters. But he still did not kill them. This kind of peaceful battle can be dragged on for a day. The demons attacking the city were weak to begin with. If they had to fight, they would not have been able to defeat the monks of the Yan Kingdom in Bayun City. They were also afraid of death. If it were not for the pressure from above, they would have run away long ago. Now seeing that the monks defending Bayun City were willing to drag it out, they were naturally happy to do so. For various reasons, neither side wanted to fight to the death. In the following days, the Jindan monks of other major forces who were originally stationed in Bayun City but temporarily left Bayun City to go back to support because of the Black Dragon Lake Jialong clan's sneak attack on the hinterland of Yan Kingdom also returned. The ones who went back to support the Bailing sect were Bailing Zhenren, who had reached the 9th level of Jindan and was also the sect master, and Lingfu patriarch. The rest of the Bailing sect Jindan did not dare to leave Bayun City, lest Bayun City be breached. The one who returned from Yaowang Valley was Yaowang's Henren, who was in the late Jindan stage. The one who returned from Qingshi Taoist Temple was Qingshi Liudao, who was in the 6th level of Jindan. However, at this time, they all looked a little embarrassed, and they were all injured. Especially the Bailing master, who had reached the 9th level of the Golden Core, was weak, pale, and the death energy around him became several times stronger. According to Ling Pengyun's cousin Yang Xiling, who was in the fake Dan realm and married into the Bailing sect, who had a good relationship with him. Some time ago, there were 2 dragons and a python that were causing trouble in the Bailing territory of the Bailing sect. They were several times stronger than the monsters of the same level, and the 2 dragons and the python were in the late Jinden stage, with extraordinary strength. Even some time ago, Bailing Master, who was at the 9th level of the Golden Core, and Lingfu Patriarch, who had entered the middle Jinden stage, returned to the Bailing sect, and cooperated with a newly promoted female Jinden dueling master who stayed in the Bailing sect to defend with the help of the Mountain Gate formation, but they were almost breached. If it weren't for the critical moment, the old Bailing Zhenren directly used various methods to enhance his strength, even burning his lifespan to increase his cultivation, and stood up to repel the 2 dragons and 1 python. I'm afraid that the Bailing sect space would have been breached that day, and the thousands of Bailing sect disciples who stayed behind would probably have died tragically at the hands of the 3 monsters. Bailing Zhenren, Lingfu Laozu, and Dueling Zhenren, the 3 Jinden, had a chance to escape. However, the other Bailing sect Jinden who were currently stationed in this city could not stay here safely, and they would definitely rush back. There are countless treasures in the Bailing sect's Mountain Gate. Even if the Bailing sect is divided into factions, no one wants the Mountain Gate to be lost. And this time, Bailing Zhenren's actions made Yang Xiling, who was somewhat hostile to Bailing Zhenren due to factional disputes, admire him a little. In theory, at that time, Bailing Zhenren could have asked for help from the other Bailing sect Jinden who were still stationed in Baiyun City. But Bailing Zhenren was also an experienced person. He saw the intention of those dragons and pythons, which was to track the Jinden in Baiyun City to strangle them. Bailing Zhenren was afraid that the other Jinden of Bailing sect in Baiyun City would be blocked and killed on their way back. After all, apart from him and Lingfu Patriarch, Wu Hong, a wind spirit root cultivator, was the only one who could stand up to the standard. The rest were only in the early stage of Jinden cultivation. In front of such powerful beings as dragons and pythons in the Jinden realm, they had no ability to protect themselves. After that battle, it is estimated that the sect master will only live for 10 years. Yang Xiling sighed slightly, and there was a little more admiration on his face. Chapter 994, Collaboration with Yan State. But in a flash, the complex expressions of pity and admiration on Yang Xiling's face disappeared, leaving only the excitement that could not be concealed in the depths of her clear eyes. Bailing sect is now divided into 2 major factions. One faction is Bailing Zhenren, and the other is the faction of her husband Wu Yan, her son Wu Hong, and her father Lingfu Laozu. At present, although there are many Jinden in Bailing Zhenren's faction, only Bailing Zhenren can come out to carry the flag. Once Bailing Zhenren passes away, this faction will be leaderless. On the other hand, the faction of Lingfu Laozu, where she belongs, is strong and powerful. Not only is Lingfu Laozu's cultivation level as high as the middle stage of Jinden, Wu Hong has also entered this realm. With the 2 of them in charge, their faction can also share more benefits from Bailing sect every year. At that time, her only son Wu Hong, who has extraordinary qualifications, can also speed up his cultivation speed under the accumulation of resources. Yang Xiling can already see that the late Jinden is waving to her son Wu Hong, who has the wind spirit root. Although her current thoughts are a bit wrong. But people are not saints, and everyone has selfish desires. Yang Xiling actually knew why Master Bailing did not seek support and desperately defended the gate of Bailing Gate alone when he encountered danger at the gate of Bailing Gate not long ago. It was nothing more than to protect the countless things in Bailing Gate that were difficult to take away in a short time. In order to leave a family foundation for Bailing Gate. Bailing Gate has developed rapidly in the past 200 years, and 90% of the achievements are due to Master Bailing. Preserving the overall strength of Bailing Gate is Master Bailing's selfish desire. Of course, it is also a righteous cause. This fellow Taoist Bailing, you have done an admirable thing. Ling Pengyun praised at this moment. Then, Yang Xiling, who is in the fake Dan realm, said another thing. According to her father Lingfu Laozu, who came back to help the gate a few days ago, for some reason, the 2 dragons and 1 dragon python that attacked the gate of Bailing Gate suddenly withdrew without any signs, and left Yan State directly. At that time, Master Bailing personally followed them to investigate. Seeing that the dragons and pythons had indeed left, he felt relieved to take the Lingfu Patriarch back here. Otherwise, I'm afraid that Bailing Zhenren and Lingfu Patriarch are probably still stationed at the Mountain Gate. This matter made Ling Pengyun's heart move. Immediately, He found Yao Wang's Henren of Yao Wang Valley and Qingxin Liudao of Qingxin Taoist Temple, with whom he had a good relationship, and asked them about it. They also said that the 2 or 3 dragons and pythons that attacked their mountain gate a few days ago also left without any signs. It seems that it was probably done by the old water dragon of Moy. This old water dragon is timid. I thought that after this water dragon left our territory, it would go to help the dragons or pythons that were causing trouble in the territory of other giant forces in Yan State. Unexpectedly, this old water dragon actually called those dragons and pythons to leave Yan State directly. Ling Pengyun smiled. After that, he called the 3 leaders of the forces, Bailing's Henren of Bailing Sect, Yao Wang's Henren of Yao Wang Valley, and Qingxin Liudao of Qingxin Taoist Temple, and told them what he had learned from the mouth of Moy Old Water Dragon and Xiangxing Sect Yuanying Seed Liu Haochin. Everyone, get ready. Ling Pengyun reminded. The 3 Bailing's Henren had different expressions, and it took a long time for them to recover. If this matter was normal, they would naturally not think it was true, but recently, there are too many dragons and pythons that have appeared inexplicably. And they are all nameless. This situation is extremely special, and it is indeed only the Black Dragon Lake that has been sealed for nearly 10,000 years that can have so many dragons and pythons. Only the dragons and pythons in that place have never appeared in the world. In addition, there was also the oral account of the Yuanying Seed Liu Haochin of the Xiangxing Sect, so the 3 Bailing's Henren were naturally convinced. The old Bailing's Henren also thanked Ling Pengyun immediately. Fellow Taoist Ling, thank you very much for this. Yao Wang's Henren and Qingxin Liudao also thanked him. It's okay. We are all from Yan. This major event concerns the entire Northern Wilderness Immortal Cultivation world. If things are really out of control in the future and Black Dragon Lake really appears in the world, I hope you can work together to guard Yan. Ling Pengyun told them the purpose of telling them the truth. If the 3 forces of Bailingman, Yao Wang Valley, and Qingxin Taoist Temple can be brought together, if there is a big chaos in the future, the Ling family can also better defend the family territory. Although Bailing's Henren had many unpleasant things with the Ling family in his early years, he had no intention of dealing with the Ling family after seeing the strength of the Ling family during the last monster beast chaos. After Ling Pengyun showed his strength comparable to the Golden Core Perfection or even the Pseudo-Infant Realm during this monster beast chaos, he dared not cause the Ling family to be unhappy. In addition, Ling Pengyun's proposal this time was indeed good. Therefore, he did not hesitate at all, and agreed to this matter faster than Yao Wang's Henren and Qingxin Liudao, who had a good relationship with the Ling family. Of course, as people of Yan State, if Yan State is in danger, we will fight against the enemy with all our strength. Yao Wang's Henren and Qingxin Liudao, both of whom had a good relationship with the Ling family, and their forces were relatively weak. Facing the existence of Black Dragon Lake, they were scared to death. Naturally, they also expressed their agreement to join forces to fight against the enemy in the future when necessary. The 3 of them were able to be the leaders of a golden elixir force, but they were not fools. Like Ling Pengyun, they were unwilling to give up their own forces and leave the Northern Wilderness Immortal Cultivation world directly. With your words today, I feel at ease. Ling Pengyun said with a smile. Then, everyone chatted for a few more words, and Bailing's Henren and the other 2 went to the side and began to take out various means of communication, arranging people to leave the Northern Wilderness Immortal Cultivation world and leave a spark for their own forces. Half a month later. The northernmost part of the Northern Wilderness Immortal Cultivation world. Wuguo. On the border of Heian Xianzong, one of the 3 major immortal gates, in a vast wasteland, there is a huge city covering thousands of feet, and there is a huge light curtain around it to protect it. And the city is the border city built by Heian Xianzong, which has many Yuanying monks. This city is close to the Yuanying clan Purple Yuan Bird clan in the boundless vast marsh, and this clan also has many Yuanying demon kings. But at this moment, Heian City is surrounded by countless monsters, and those monsters are constantly using various attack methods to bombard the formation of the giant city, causing waves in the formation. The movement here is also very great, and countless roars are constantly heard. And not far from this battle, there are more monsters recuperating. A rough look shows that there are at least tens of millions of monsters here, and there are millions of monsters attacking the city. And behind the group of monsters who are recuperating, there is a mysterious small lake. There are several giant and demon kings guarding the small lake, and the lake is bottomless. At this moment, at the bottom of the lake, there are dozens of dragons and pythons that were rarely seen in the past, and their auras are all in the Jindan realm. The dragons and pythons such as Mo Yi Lao Jiao that attacked Yan State some time ago are also among them. In front of them, on a huge jade bed, there is a huge water dragon that is 300 or 400 feet big, like a small mountain, and covered with blue fish scales. Although this huge water dragon looks at Mo Yi Lao Shui Jiao and other dragons and pythons calmly, its monstrous aura keeps leaning on the bodies of Mo Yi Lao Jiao and other dragons and pythons. Just that momentum makes Mo Yi Lao Jiao, a giant and perfect dragon, dare not look up and look at the water dragon, and the other dragons or pythons with low cultivation keep their heads down, not daring to make any movement. Many dragons and pythons began to tremble at the sight. Chapter 995, Time Limit for Stirring Up the Storm. After a long time, the huge water dragon on the jade bed said coldly, "No team succeeded? It seems that the Xianxing sect and its subordinate forces are quite powerful. It's not your fault. Since you can't take back the occupied territory, then forget it. You continue to go back and help the Qijin Bear clan, which is adjacent to the Xianxing sect, a Yuanying force, to defend the territory. But I have to say it in advance. Helping the Qijin Bear clan to defend the territory is the bottom line. It's okay if you failed to seize the territory before, but it's difficult to defend the territory. After the monster beast chaos is over, you don't need to exist in this world." Mo Yi Lao Shui Jiao and other dragons and pythons heard this and secretly breathed a sigh of relief. It is indeed difficult to seize the territory, but they are still confident in helping the Qijin Bear clan to defend the territory. Many of the dozens of giant dragons and pythons here attacked the Xianxing sect some time ago, and a few attacked the other two affiliated countries under the Xianxing sect. The dragons and pythons of Mo Lao Jiao were just assigned to go to Yan State to cause chaos. Because they had been to various places of Xianxing sect some time ago, they actually saw that Xianxing sect and its subordinate forces had no intention of expanding during this monster beast chaos, and it was easy to help the Red Gold Bear clan to defend the territory. Immediately, they accepted the order and agreed to what the huge water dragon said. The huge water dragon did not want to say much, and directly called back the dragons and pythons of Moi Water Dragon. After they all left, the huge water dragon showed a trace of weakness, and its breath became a little sluggish. It also turned over, and it was immediately visible that there was a huge wound on its tail, as if it was split by a sharp weapon, and the tail was almost cut off. There was a faint blue evil spirit on the wound, which continued to corrode the flesh and blood of the huge water dragon. This matter also made the huge water dragon grin. The Heian evil spirit of that old thief Heian is really hard to get rid of. It looks like this injury won't heal without 100 years. Thinking of this, the water dragon was both angry and helpless. A month ago, at the beginning of the monster rebellion, it and two Yuanying-level purple phoenixes of the Purple Phoenix Bird clan led a large number of low-level monsters to attack Heian City. But who would have thought that the immortal sect master Heian's Henjin, one of the two Yuanying's Henjins of Heian Xianzong who were in charge of the city, had reached the 6th level of Yuanying, and his strength was extremely extraordinary. Moreover, the Heian evil spirit magical power he mastered could also be attached to the magic of spiritual treasures, strengthening the attack power of these spiritual objects. Being injured by these attacks would also cause the flesh and blood to be stained with the Heian evil spirit. This huge water dragon was injured by a large sword spiritual treasure attached with Heian evil spirit on that day. If it hadn't sacrificed a 4th level spiritual talisman to save its life at that time, I'm afraid its tail would have really been broken on the ground. It's a pity that the rest of the Yuanying clan are in seclusion, and the ancestor has only comprehended the magical power, and is not sure to stir up the situation. It's hard to avenge this hatred in a short time. With my injury, it's hard to snatch back the territories of the righteous human race. The huge water dragon sighed helplessly. This dragon is one of the 3 dragons from the Black Dragon Lake Dragon clan that came out of the monster beast riot this time. Its cultivation is at the peak of the early Yuanying stage and its name is Molin. It is also a water dragon. The Jiamang Lake Dragon clan has more water dragons, and fewer dragons of other attributes. Then, this Yuanying dragon Molin closed his eyes and continued to slowly remove the evil spirits from his body with spiritual power. If it hadn't been injured now, it would not have given in, and instead let Mo Yi Lao Jiao and other dragons and pythons give up snatching the territory and choose to stick to it. Half a month has not passed. Yan State. Border. In the Bayun Mountains, which covers an area of 1 million miles, the Bayun Mountains are the closest to the monster tribe. Bayun City. Ling Pengyun, who is here to help tens of thousands of other Yan Kingdom cultivators resist the attack of some of the red gold bears, suddenly had some realizations. He looked up and saw several more rays of light coming from the south. It just disappeared not long ago. Why is this old Moyijiao coming to bother us again? Ling Pengyun frowned. Soon, the rays of light that came fell on the group of monsters outside the city, revealing the old Moyijiao and the several dragons and pythons that invaded Yan Kingdom not long ago. Not long ago, many giant and cultivators from the Bailing sect, Yao Wang Valley, and Qingshi Taoist temple, who had conflicts and hatreds with these dragons and pythons, showed countless anger when they saw this. However, because they knew that the dragons and pythons came from the boundless Black Dragon Lake, the giant of these three forces did not take action directly at the first time. After all, they were the ones who were given special attention by the Red Gold Bear clan during the last monster rebellion because they rashly killed the descendants of the Red Gold Bear King and the Red Kite Queen, who were in the nascent soul stage. They almost destroyed the entire Yan state. Fortunately, the Xianxing sect was willing to save the Yan state at that time and sent the nascent soul seed Liu Haochen to help. With this precedent, how could the Yan state giant dare to take the risk of attacking the Black Jiao Lake Flood Dragon and the Flood Python with a bigger background? However, what surprised Bailing sect, Yao Wang Valley, Qingshi Taoist temple, and Ling Pengyun and other Ling family members was that the subsequent support of the Moyi Flood Dragon and the Flood Python did not use their full strength. Instead, they were just like the group of monsters that attacked the city. They just pretended to attack the city, and even did not attack the city a few times, and then slipped to the rear of the monster group to practice. During this period, Ling Pengyun was a little curious, so he used the sound transmission technique to ask Moyi Flood about it. When Ling Pengyun learned that the nascent soul realm dragon leader of the Moyi Jiao and other monsters had lowered his demands and only asked Moyi Jiao and other monsters to stop the expansion of the monsters in the Yan Kingdom, he felt a little more fortunate. From this point of view, it will probably take some time for the Black Jiao Lake to truly appear in the world. This gives my clan and the entire Northern Wilderness Immortal Cultivation world a chance to breathe. After all, according to the strength of the Black Jiao Lake, there must be many kinds of giant monsters, only more. Logically, Moyi Jiao and other dragons failed to attack the Yan Kingdom not long ago, and this force should send more monster kings, instead of letting Moyi Jiao and other defeated soldiers only assist the monsters attacking Bayun City and stop the cultivators in Bayun City from going out to prevent the expansion of the Yan Kingdom. However, this time, after a long time of monster chaos, some dragons appeared in the Black Jiao Lake, and it is estimated that the day when the Black Jiao Lake truly appears will not be too far away. We must prepare well. Ling Pengyun murmured. Horizontal ellipsis. 2.5 months later. At the northernmost part of the northern wilderness Xiuxin realm, there was a long stretch of beach. Under the shining sun, the sand actually emitted a golden luster. Further north, there was an endless ocean. The azure blue water was particularly clear, and there were many seafoods in it. You could see some fish swimming around the coast at will. With the ebb and flow of the tide, you could see some beautiful shells washed up on the beach. However, this peaceful scene was broken by a white shadow that was difficult for ordinary people to detect. Chapter 996, The Secret Realm of Magic? If a person with high cultivation level was here, he would definitely be shocked by the white shadow. The white shadow was actually a water dragon that was 100 feet long, and there were thousands of cultivators in different clothes sitting on its back. The cultivation levels of those cultivators were high and low. The high cultivation level was as high as the golden core, but there was only one person here, and this person had a cold face and only sadness between his brows. The low-level cultivators had not yet entered the Tao, but they were contaminated with spiritual energy. 9 out of 10 were people who had practiced martial arts and were about to enter the Tao. And this group of people were the thousands of clansmen that the Ling family planned to arrange to go to the branch of the Immortal Cultivation realm in the Boundless Sea to avoid the disaster. The leader was Ling Chengsha, and the one he was riding on was the Dragon Abyss Flood Dragon King in the pseudo-infant realm. Senior Long Yuan, the desolate sea is ahead. The space is extremely unstable. There may be a powerful infinite gale in a certain place. Don't be careful. Lingxiao looked at the seemingly calm and beautiful boundless sea ahead, but there was more worry between his brows. He also reminded the Dragon Abyss Dragon King in front of him. Don't worry, with my current cultivation, as long as it is not the kind of boundless gale that stretches for tens of millions of miles, I can take you through it. The Dragon Abyss Dragon King, who was 100 feet big and like a small mountain, replied with great confidence. This sea area is the legendary Desolate Sea Area. Tens of thousands of years ago, due to the battle between a human god and a demon god, the space of this sea area collapsed. Although the winner of that battle, the human god, used the great means to repair the space of this sea area, the space of this sea area is still relatively weak. On ordinary days, some voids will break apart by themselves, turning into voids, from which the infinite strong wind will burst out. Every few years, there will be a gale that stretches across half or even the entire vast desolate sea area. At that time, even the Dragon Abyss Jiao King may not be able to get through. At this time, the Dragon Abyss Jiao King had fallen from the sky and dived into the azure sea. A blue light flashed around him, and his breath became more secretive. I'm afraid that even if a true lord of the first level of the nascent soul is here, if he doesn't pay attention, he may not be able to detect the Dragon Abyss Jiao King. This method of using the power of water to collect breath is one of the inherited magical powers of the White Shadow Lingxiao Yin-Yang clan in the White Shadow Secret Realm. It is called the Art of Water Spirit 10,000 Collection, and its quality has reached the level of the top lower magical powers. Moreover, this technique and the White Shadow Escape technique of the White Shadow sect, which can also collect some breath, are similar in nature, but the two will not conflict, but complement each other. Before, the Dragon Abyss Flood Dragon King could transform into a White Shadow, relying on the top intermediate level White Shadow Escape technique. And on this journey, they indeed witnessed why the world said that the space of the desolate sea area between the northern wilderness cultivation world and the boundless sea cultivation world was unstable. Every once in a while, everyone would encounter some unstable places in space, emitting strands of infinite wind. Fortunately, the power of these infinite winds was not strong, and the Dragon Abyss Flood Dragon King easily with his various defensive means. The Dragon Abyss Flood Dragon King was the same, leading Lingxiao and thousands of Ling family cultivators to go further and further, gradually going deeper into the desolate sea area. But on this day, while on the road, the Dragon Abyss Flood Dragon King suddenly noticed something unusual. It also said to Lingxiao, "Friend Ling, there are several different waves of magic power coming from tens of thousands of miles to the north. It is estimated that some giant and demon cultivators are fighting. Among them, there are two particularly strong spiritual power fluctuations. It is estimated that a demon cultivator at the perfect level of giant. Should we go around it?" Lingxiao heard this and immediately showed a look of surprise. The space in the desolate sea area is extremely weak, and the strength of the giant cultivators is not weak. If the giant cultivators fight in such a place, the waves will inevitably cause the surrounding space to collapse, and the place of battle will also turn into void, and countless powerful boundless winds will surge out. By then, I am afraid that the battle will not end yet, and the people fighting will be in trouble. Therefore, most people dare not fight easily in the desolate sea area. It is even rarer for multiple giant to fight. At the same time, it is more dangerous. Lingxiao can only admire the courage of those people. Let's let them go this time. Let's take a detour. The demon cultivators who can enter the Golden Core realm are not easy to deal with. We are bringing many clansmen with us, so it's better not to get involved in this muddy water, so as not to be affected by them and affect our journey. Lingxiao's eyes were full of murderous light. Because of the various casualties caused by the demon cultivators in the clan, and because of the Yin-Yang Sutra he practiced, he now hates the demon cultivators more and more. Now, he has a murderous intention in his heart. If there were no clansmen here, he really wanted to ride on the Dragon Abyss Dragon King and kill all the demon cultivators, and throw the corpses directly to his 4 golden dragons to eat. The magic weapons can be used by the demon corpses in the family, and the magic items on the demon cultivators can also be used by the demon corpses in the family for cultivation. Anyway, if the demon cultivators can be killed, the value will definitely not be less. When the Dragon Abyss Dragon King heard this, he felt a little regretful. It actually wanted to join the battle. It especially wanted to taste the flesh and blood of the giant cultivators. According to the tradition of its clan, the flesh and blood of cultivators is extremely delicious, especially the flesh and blood of high-level cultivators. Demon cultivators are also cultivators, so there is probably no difference in their flesh and blood. It spent the first half of its life in the White Shadow secret realm, where no cultivators existed, but it had never eaten a cultivator, let alone a high-level cultivator. After coming to the Ling family, although it had come into contact with many Ling family members, it dared not touch anyone from the Ling family. Now, it was entrusted by Ling Changsha's father Ling Pengyun to help transport people, so it had no choice but to accept Ling Changsha's proposal. But as soon as they bypassed a battle site, the movement of the battle site disappeared quietly. Then, a subtle spatial fluctuation was heard from that place. This movement made the whole body of Longjiao Wang tremble, and its eyes suddenly lit up. This is the sound of the secret realm opening. But this breath also carries a special demonic energy. I guess there is a demon vein in the secret realm. Ling Changsha's face suddenly showed excitement and asked, "Is what you said true?" Longjiao Wang answered excitedly. "Of course, I have been in the White Shadow secret realm for 1,000 years. When I followed you and your father and others to leave the secret realm, I paid more attention to the matter of leaving the secret realm. I am most familiar with the fluctuations when the secret realm is opened. Little friendling, shall we go to the place where the unusual movement came from? Maybe that secret realm is the legendary demon secret realm. I have never seen such a secret realm, and I don't know how this demon secret realm is different from my White Shadow secret realm." In order to make Ling Changsha agree, Longjiao Wang tempted. Secret realms are all treasure lands. Even the magic secret realms have many treasure lands. The nobles have a lot of giant and demon corpses. It is possible that there are many things in the inexplicable secret realm that can increase the cultivation of the nobles' demon corpses. Maybe, a giant and perfect demon corpse can be created for the nobles. Moreover, the giant and demon cultivators who fought at the place where the secret realm was opened must have known about the secret realm, which is why they fought there. Otherwise, if there is no special means to open the secret realm, it will be difficult for that group of people to open the secret realm. Little friend Ling, why don't we be the fisherman this time? Chapter 997, The Monk in the Yinzhu Secret Realm. Ling Changsha was a little moved when he heard this. However, he was a little worried about the thousands of clansmen who were on the back of the dragon abyss Jiao King. After hesitating for a while, he raised his hand and summoned the only late giant and demon corpse from the beast bag on his waist, letting it temporarily support the defense means to protect the thousands of Ling clansmen, so as to prevent the space here from becoming unstable, causing the infinite strong wind to appear, and causing casualties among the Ling clansmen. The late giant and demon corpse was a steel netherfire beast puppet, good at using netherfire, and its body was forged by Ling Changsha's father Ling Pengyun with many high-level spiritual irons and a special method, making the body of this demon corpse not much worse than before. This demon corpse can be regarded as a top-notch middle-level demon corpse. After many years of accumulation of countless demons of the Ling family, its cultivation has also been raised to the 8th level of Jinden, which is about 30% to 40% stronger than ordinary monsters and cultivators of the same level. Its strength is extremely terrifying, enough to be comparable to a cultivator of the 9th level of Jinden. This demon corpse is one of the 2 rare late Jinden steel demon corpses among the many demon corpses of the Ling family. It is one of the means of protection left by Ling Pengyun for Ling Changsha in the immortal cultivation world of the boundless sea. Even if the family encounters an accident in the future, as long as this demon corpse is there, Ling Changsha's future path will be much smoother. This demon corpse has a very high spiritual intelligence. Ling Changsha left a special bend in its sea of consciousness. As long as it moves slightly, it will die in Ling Changsha's hands. Therefore, this demon corpse is very obedient. Immediately, it summoned a defensive magic treasure to protect the thousands of Ling family cultivators present. Ling Changsha warned the demon corpse again, and he followed the dragon abyss Jiao King to the place where the secret realm opened the fluctuation. This place is a small island. Perhaps because there is often an infinite strong wind blowing around the island, there is no vegetation on the island, but a desolate scene. Because many giant and cultivators had just fought here, the island had become a mess, and the surrounding space had collapsed a lot. Now, the island was covered by a large amount of boundless wind, destroying everything on the island. Even a giant and cultivator like Ling Changsha, who was in the early stage of Jinden, did not dare to enter the boundless wind of such intensity. In addition, With the help of his consciousness that reached the pseudo-infant realm, Longyidan Wang also discovered that there was a place around the island that was not covered by the boundless wind, and there were two giant and middle-stage demon cultivators lurking in the dark. Those two people are probably the group of people who caused fluctuations in the previous battle on the ground, and they were left on the island to guard this place. As for those who had a higher cultivation level in the previous battle, they are probably in the secret realm. Let's wait here. Longyidan Wang suggested to Ling Chengsha. Then, one Jiao and one person began to wait here. After waiting for half a month, the island finally showed unusual movements. Deep in the island, a round black hole about 10 feet in size appeared. 3 figures rushed out. 2 of them were in the late Jinden stage, and one was an old monk who had reached the perfect Jinden stage. They were all stained with demonic energy and looked like demonic cultivators. However, the current situation of these 3 people was extremely embarrassing, and could even be described as miserable. Among them, there was a late Jinden cultivator who looked like a middle-aged woman. Half of her body was gone, and her body was wrapped in gauze. If it weren't for the strong spiritual power of the late Jinden stage, I'm afraid this person would have died long ago. Another late Jinden cultivator was a strong man. Although he looked intact, his bones were basically broken, which also caused his aura to be extremely strong. However, this person had rich blood and ki. Longyidan guessed that this person was a physical cultivator. The strongest Jinden perfect cultivator, although not injured, had a somewhat weak aura. It was obvious that he had used some methods to enhance his strength, and thus fell into the weak period of those secret methods, and his strength was only 1/3 of his strength. It would take a long time to slowly recover. However, the old man who had reached the golden core perfection stage was still quite powerful. He was surrounded by a 3rd-grade superior magic shield, which formed a huge light curtain for him, covering him and the other 2 late golden core cultivators around him, blocking the boundless strong wind blowing from the surroundings. At this time, the 2 mid-stage golden core cultivators who had been guarding the island recently also appeared and immediately went to meet them. Second brother, second sister-in-law, why are you in such a state? Old ancestor, what happened to you in the secret realm? One of the older mid-stage golden core cultivators asked with a worried look on his face when he saw the 2 late golden core cultivators who looked like a couple. Upon hearing this, the old golden core perfect cultivator who led the way out of the secret realm sighed helplessly and explained. There are quite a few remaining demon cultivators of the Yinzhu demon sect in that secret realm, although there are no giant and perfection cultivators among them. But they are numerous, numbering in the thousands, and there are many high-level magic arrays in that secret realm. The Yinzhu sect members rely on those arrays and are very powerful. Minglian, Hanjur and I can't do anything to them even if we work together. Instead, they made us look like this now. If we leave this secret realm later, I'm afraid the 3 of us will die there. The face of the older giant and middle stage cultivator changed drastically. Is the strength so strong, ancestor? What should we do next? Zhang Renli, an old man with giant and perfection, frowned and looked at the long disappeared black hole behind him, and said in a deep voice. Although this entrance is only one of the small entrances to the Yinzhu secret realm, there is no nascent soul among the cultivators in the secret realm, so it is difficult to destroy this entrance. The Yinzhu sect members in the secret realm will definitely not leave the secret realm easily. Let's mobilize the rest of the family's Jinden to come here. When the time comes, we will enter the secret realm together and see if we can negotiate with the Yinzhu sect members in the secret realm and share some of the secret realm's benefits. As for the entire secret realm, we can only plan it later. At this point, Zhang Renli instructed the other 2 giant and mid-stage cultivators here. Mingxun, Mingdong, go back to the family and notify the other giant and demon cultivators to come here. The 2 giant and mid-stage cultivators did not delay, and they immediately prepared to leave. But at this moment, a large piece of blue water with the aura of a drowning magic weapon suddenly appeared from a void, turning into a huge cover, covering the entire island filled with the infinite strong wind. Then, a dragon roar sounded. Ah! The huge dragon, Longyidan Wang, which was more than 150 to 60 feet long, suddenly jumped out from the void. Its scales were constantly shining with blue light, and it looked extremely strong. It ignored the boundless wind that permeated the island and rushed directly into it. Countless boundless winds blew through its body, and countless sounds of golden swords and iron clanging rang out. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 998 Purpose. However, there was no damage on the body of the Dragon Abyss Flood Dragon King. Its blue scales were still shining brightly, like a piece of iron armor. Lingxiao, standing on its huge head, took the lead. The 5 Jinden on the island were all extraordinary. He did not dare to be careless and directly summoned the 2 top-level intermediate life magic treasures, the Yingxuan Mirror and the Yangxuan Mirror, which had entered the realm of the 3rd-level intermediate grade. The 2 mirrors merged directly into one and turned into the superior life magic treasure Yin-Yang Huaxun Treasure Mirror. The Yin-Yang Huaxun Treasure Mirror flashed with a flash of light, and a black and white sphere the size of a human head flew out of the mirror surface. It contained the power of Yingxuan and Yangxuan, and the aura was extremely terrifying. Seeing this, the 5 Zhang family cultivators on the island all changed their expressions. The old Jinden perfection cultivator Zhang Renli reacted the fastest. He moved his fingers and the 3rd-grade upper-grade magic shield around him expanded, covering the other 2 Jinden mid-stage cultivators Zhang Mingxun and Mingdong. At this moment, the yin-yang transformation mysterious treasure ball came over and hit the magic shield like curtain. The ball also exploded, and the yin-yang and mysterious forces inside it detonated each other, bursting out with multiple power, directly blasting the magic shield like curtain into waves. A huge roar also followed. Boom! Zhang Renli was shocked when he saw this power. The power of the yin-yang transformation mysterious ball was at least comparable to the full-strength attack of a Jinden mid-stage cultivator. And he saw that Lingxiao, who was standing on the head of the Dragon Abyss Dragon King, was only at the 2nd level of the Jinden. With such a cultivation level, there is such an attack method, which is extremely extraordinary. The inheritance this person cultivates must be extremely high. There is also a pseudo-infant dragon guardian, whose identity is probably. I just don't know which big force this person comes from. He had never seen the cultivation method that Lingxiao cultivated, and he had never seen Longyang Jiao Wang, a pseudo-infant dragon. Although the boundless sea is large, there are only so many pseudo-infant masters, and among them, pseudo-infant dragons are even rarer, but most of them are in the demon camp, and only a few are human spirit beasts, but those dragon spirit beasts are famous. Zhang Renli, the old demon, has never heard of a pseudo-infant dragon like Longyang Jiao Wang. Other people in the cultivation world. Thinking of this, Zhang Renli no longer had the heart to fight. Even if he was in a state of complete victory, he was no match for Longyang Jiao Wang, a pseudo-infant dragon who mastered 2 prototypes of spiritual treasures. Not to mention, because he encountered danger in the previous trip to the secret realm, he used many methods to enhance his strength, which caused him to fall into a weak period and his strength was only 30%. This kind of strength is not much different from that of an ordinary 9th-level Jinden cultivator. With this kind of strength, how can one escape the attack of the Dragon Abyss Flood Dragon King? The 2 late-stage Jinden couple beside him were also seriously injured, and their strength was only about half. The 2 middle-stage Jinden demon cultivators who were guarding the entrance to the secret realm of the island, although they still maintained a winning momentum, their cultivation level was there after all, which also made their strength not strong. Under such circumstances, they have fallen into a losing situation. Even if they can win, they will probably get into trouble. This righteous Taoist friend, have you misunderstood? We are the demon cultivators under the Qingshi demon sect. Please help us and let us go. We will report back to you in the future. The old Jinden perfect demon cultivator Zhang Renli reported the name of the force to which his family was affiliated, trying to scare off Lingxiao and the Dragon Abyss Flood Dragon King who was sitting there. Not long ago, Lingxiao learned that his father Ling Pengyun planned to arrange him to the Wubianhe area to cultivate immortals. He has been studying a lot of information about the major forces in the Wubianhe area collected by the family. Lingxiao has actually heard of the Qingshi demon sect, and it is very famous. According to the family's intelligence, the Qingshi demon sect is enough to rank among the top 3 in the magic forces in the Wubianhe area. It is only below the holy demon sect and another demon sect. This sect is also a Yuanying force, with 3 Yuanying demon lords sitting in charge, and its strength is extremely terrifying. The most special thing is that this sect is actually a sect that advocates the art of dual cultivation. Among the 3 Yuanying demon lords in this sect, there is a couple. Moreover, It is said that in the entire Wubianhe area, the famous fireworks places have the shadow of this demon sect, whether in the righteous world or in the demon world. Ling Changsha also showed a bit of surprise on his face. However, the dragon Abyss Jiao King under his seat did not care so much. It had already flown into the island and attacked. Its 4 claws, which were wearing the prototype of the spiritual treasure Moyan 4 claws, carried a million of huge forces and bombarded the magic shield light curtain that Zhang Rinli used to protect the Zhang family, expanding the waves on the light curtain several times, and even the magic shield light curtain began to shake. The prototype of the spiritual treasure Kaian Lishu, which turned into cover to cover the entire island, also split into some flowing water, driving the surrounding water vapor, increasing its power a little, and swept over. Under such a powerful attack, Zhang Rinli's magic shield light curtain was broken in just a moment. Even the 2 giant and mid-stage cultivators next to Zhang Rinli, and the injured giant and late-stage couple, called out various defensive means in time to replace Zhang Rinli and resist the offensive, but their situation has become precarious. This matter also made Zhang Rinli more anxious, as it was a matter of life and death. If I fight with my life, you will not get much benefit. I see that this fellow Jiaolong looks like he is seriously injured. I think he just failed in his attempt to reach the nascent soul stage not long ago. If he was injured again in this battle, it will take him longer to recover. Don't think I can't see it. You are also trying to spy on the entrance to the secret realm on this island. The entrance to the secret realm here is extremely secret. The Yinzhu demon sect only opened up 3 tokens to enter this secret realm. Now these 3 tokens are in my hands. If you dare to touch me or my people, I will destroy all 3 tokens. Zhang Rinli roared. Hearing this, Longying Jiao Wang showed a bit of contempt in his eyes. It originated from the White Shadow Lake Jiaolong clan in the White Shadow secret realm. This clan has been around for more than 20,000 years and has many life-saving items. It also has 2 prototypes of spiritual treasures in its hands. It is not afraid of even the old giant in perfection Zhang Rinli old demon when he is in full victory, plus the other 4 Zhang family demon cultivators here. What's more, Zhang Rinli old demon's strength is only 30% of that when he was in full victory. However, Ling Changsha asked Longying Jiaoang to stop at this moment. Senior, the goal has been achieved. Senior, please stop. Chapter 999 Ling Changsha's Madness. He and Longying Jiaoang had already made an agreement, and their direct attack on Zhang Rinli and the other 5 old demons was just a feint. Although they saw the entrance to the secret realm with their own eyes, it has now disappeared, and they have no medium or special method to open the secret realm. If they really kill Zhang Rinli and other old demons, they will most likely not be able to enter the secret realm here. The fastest way to get a medium and special method to enter the secret realm is to scare Zhang Rinli and other old demons. Ling Changsha thought carefully about the information about the Yinzhu demon sect from Zhang Rinli. The rise of the Yinzhu demon sect is also quite legendary. 30,000 years ago, this demon sect was originally just an ordinary giant in realm demon force. But 25,000 years ago, this sect unexpectedly got a disciple with extremely high talent and a kind of demon spirit body. The Yinzhu demon sect regarded it as a treasure and spent endless resources to cultivate it. The disciple with a demon body and a spiritual root did not disappoint the Yinzhu demon sect. He practiced the magic skills and became even more powerful. He entered the golden core realm in just a few decades, and condensed the nascent soul in just 300 years. After that, he lived for 700 years. He traveled all over the world of immortal cultivation in the boundless sea, and his cultivation finally reached the late stage of the nascent soul. During this period, he also got a 4th-level magic vein for the Yinzhu sect and cultivated a nascent soul demon lord for the sect. However, after the death of the first nascent soul demon lord of this sect, the sect began to decline. After the death of the second nascent soul demon lord of this sect, the sect never gave birth to a nascent soul demon lord again. The territory of this sect was also constantly swallowed up by powerful forces around it. Finally, more than 200 years ago, during the chaos of monsters in the boundless sea every 300 years, it was targeted by a righteous nascent soul force and easily destroyed. This sect disappeared. I didn't expect that the Yinzhu demon sect actually controls a treasure like the secret realm. Ling Changsha was amazed. However, it was probably found by the late Yuaning demon lord who had appeared in this sect. Otherwise, with the strength of this sect, it would be extremely difficult to get a treasure like the secret realm. Most Yuaning forces do not have secret realms. Only forces with multiple Yin-Yang have the strength to get secret realms through various means. Lingxiao also said coldly to Zhang Rinli, the old demon. Take out the token and special method to enter the secret realm here. Zhang Rinli, the old demon, was relieved when he heard it. As long as Lingxiao and Long Jiaoyang set their eyes on the secret realm here, he would have a chance of survival. Otherwise, he would definitely die. He has been in the world of immortal cultivation for nearly 500 years. He is not stupid. He then bargained. I can give you the token and the special method to open the secret realm here, but I have two requests. The first is that you can ensure that I and my people leave here alive. The second is that I want 50% of the benefits in the secret realm, and we will split it in half. To be honest, there are still many remnants of the Yinzhu sect in this secret realm, and there are many magic arrays in it. It is very difficult to completely conquer the Yinzhu secret realm here. How about we work together? As long as you agree to these proposals and write these conditions into a contract with me on this quasi 4th level realm soul contract, we will sign it together. The medium that you need, and the method to open the small entrance to the secret realm here with the help of the medium, I will definitely offer it with both hands. Lingxiao heard this and narrowed his eyes slightly, and the few traces of murderous intent that flashed in the depths of his eyes became more intense. However, he did not move his hands, and he bargained with the old demon Zhang Rinli as usual. Finally, after the two discussed, Lingxiao and the Dragon King Lang Yidong could get 70% of the benefits in the secret realm, and Zhang Rinli, the old demon, could get 30% of the benefits. The two parties also agreed that in order to prevent the matter from being spread, they would rest together on this small island, and when their strength was fully restored, they would enter the secret realm through the small entrance on the island. Neither party sought external help. Then, the two parties signed the quasi 4th order Yuanhan contract in the hands of Zhang Rinli, the old demon who had achieved perfection in the golden collar. Zhang Rinli, the old demon, felt at ease, and according to the agreement, handed over the medium token of the secret realm and the special method of opening the secret realm with the help of the token to Lingxiao. Just when Lingxiao got the two items and tried them to see if they were real, and they could indeed open the entrance to the secret realm hidden here, Lingxiao suddenly took action. This was something that Zhang Rinli and the other 5 golden core old demons had not expected, and even the Dragon King Lang Yidong had not expected it. Once a quasi 4th level Yuanhan contract is signed, it is difficult to violate it easily. At least a 4th level shielding contract object is required to dissolve the Yuanhan mark in the sea of consciousness of the contractor. Otherwise, if the Yuanhan contract is violated, the contractor will be directly shattered by the Yuanhan contract in his sea of consciousness. Ling boy, are you going to die? The face of the Dragon Abyss Jiao King suddenly changed and he roared. But at this moment, Lingxiao has already made a move. He summoned many powerful talismans and even powerful one-time magic weapons. Among them, there are 2 talismans with a bright spiritual light and depicting the color of blue phoenix. These 2 talismans are extremely dazzling. Once they are sacrificed, they turn into 2 huge ice phoenixes that are nearly 200 feet long. A pseudo-infant realm aura also swept and spread in all directions. The rest of the talismans are also at the 3rd level, and they have also taken shape. 3 more talismans turned into 3 streams of light and flew directly into a sea of consciousness. At this time, the various means used by Lingxiao had overwhelmed Zhang Rinli and the other 5 giant and demon cultivators who had not yet reacted. There were only countless roars and 2 crisp phoenix calls, and the place became quiet. Only a gust of cold wind blew. Looking at the place where Zhang Rinli and the other 5 were before, there were only 5 piles of minced meat. There were also the 2 ice phoenixes with extremely extraordinary auras. At this moment, they consumed a lot of power, and their bodies were a little illusory, with about 50% of their power left. They also flew back to Lingxiao's side, turned back into 2 talismans, and fell into Lingxiao's hands. I still overestimated Zhang Rinli. I should have used only 1 ice soul black phoenix talisman. What a pity. It was a mistake. Lingxiao looked at the 2 ice soul black phoenix talismans in his hand, whose spiritual light was a little dim, and sighed with a look of heartache. His eyes also fixed on the pile of flesh and blood that Zhang Rinli's 5 giant and demon cultivators had transformed into not far away. He was murderous and his eyes were full of murderous light. As a demon cultivator, you are not worthy of being with me. He never intended to form an alliance with Zhang Rinli and other demon cultivators. Even if the person he met this time was a righteous cultivator, he would kill him without hesitation. It can be said that he perfectly inherited the character of his father Ling Pengyun, and even went a step further. His way is to prove the way through killing. Those who hindered him and his family's steps were all killed. Stepping on the sea of blood, he walked a longer way. But at this moment, he felt a pain in his sea of consciousness, and he couldn't help but hold his head with both hands. After several breaths, the cramps finally eased a little, and he put his hand down. His face turned extremely pale, and his breath became extremely weak, as if he was seriously injured. At this time, Longying Jiao Wang, who was worried that Ling Changsha would violate the Yuan Han contract, was shocked when he saw Ling Changsha raise his hand and kill Zhang Rinli and 5 other giant and demon cultivators with various means. Quasi 4th level attack talismans. Quasi 4th level attack talismans contain at least 30% of the power of a Yuanying early stage cultivator's full force attack. It is completely comparable to a pseudo-infant cultivator's full force attack. Even after Longying Jiao Wang recovered from the serious damage to his vitality caused by the failure of the attack on the Yuanying, and his strength reached a complete victory, he did not dare to take 2 Quasi 4th level attack talismans head-on. Not to mention, there are so many 3rd level attack methods. At the same time, it's odd that Ling Changsha was still standing here after violating the Quasi 4th level soul contract, but he seemed to have suffered some injuries. It couldn't help but shudder. The Quasi 4th level soul contract was extremely powerful. Even a cultivator at the early stage of the nascent soul might not be able to suppress the backlash of this contract. If an ordinary giant and cultivator or even a pseudo-infant cultivator was backlashed by this contract, if there was no special method to help, he would definitely die. It subconsciously moved away from Ling Changsha. God knows if Ling Changsha still has such a powerful talisman. "My friend, why are you still alive?" He began to tremble and said tremblingly. Chapter 1000 Killing God. "Senior, do you want me dead?" Ling Changsha turned his head to the Dragon Abyss Dragon King, showing a cold smile on his face. No, that's not what I meant, but how did you avoid the bondage of the contract?" The Dragon Abyss Dragon King was very curious about this matter. This matter concerns its life. Back then, the alliance contract signed between it, the Flame Demon Wolf clan in the White Shadow Secret Realm and Ling Pengyun was just a Quasi 4th level Yuan Han contract. Now, Ling Changsha was able to destroy the Quasi 4th level Yuan Han contract between him and the old giant and perfection demon cultivator Zhang Rinli. In the future, Ling Pengyun may be able to destroy the alliance contract with it and attack it. On the other hand, it was trapped in the contract, but there was no way to resolve it. Ling Changsha did not answer, but the smile on his face became a little colder. Just now, he was able to avoid the backlash of the temporary demon contract signed with Zhang Rinli and the other 5 giant and demon cultivators, as well as Longying Jiao Wang, mainly relying on 3 Quasi 4th level seal eliminating talismans. This seal eliminating talisman was created by the predecessors of the immortal world based on the Yuan Han contract to avoid the backlash of the Yuan Han contract. Under normal circumstances, the Yuan Han mark created by the Quasi 4th level Yuan Han contract can only be resolved by using a real 4th level seal eliminating talisman. The Quasi 4th level seal eliminating talisman can only resolve part of the power of the Yuan Han mark created by the Quasi 4th level Yuan Han contract. Before, the 3 seal eliminating talismans used by Ling Changsha were still a little less effective, and could only resolve 90% of the power of the Yuan Han mark in the Sea of Consciousness. The remaining 10% of the backlash of the Yuan Han mark could only be resisted by himself. However, even this 10% of the backlash power caused a heavy blow to Ling Changsha's Sea of Consciousness. Moreover, if he had not practiced a Heavenly Gang Divine Forging technique, a righteous spiritual consciousness method of the middle stage of the nascent soul, from the Ghost Immortal sect of the God-transforming Ghost sect, and raise his spiritual consciousness strength to the level of the late stage of the Golden Core in advance, his Sea of Consciousness would have become more solid because of the Yin and Yang Taichu Qi that Ling Pengyun had brought into his Sea of Consciousness in his early years. Otherwise, I'm afraid that Ling Changsha's Sea of Consciousness would have been blown to pieces by the self-explosion power of the Yuan Han mark, which still had 10% of its power left. He would have died on the spot. As for the 3 seal-removing talismans, they were naturally obtained by his father Ling Pengyun from the hands of the true Lord of Greenwater in his early years. According to Ling Pengyun's idea, The 3 seal-removing talismans were prepared by him to deal with the Dragon Abyss Jiao King. After all, if the family encounters a crisis in the future, the Dragon Abyss Jiao King might also make a small move. Ling Qingsha retracted his distracting thoughts and looked at the void where the entrance to the secret realm was located. His face was filled with a bit of expectation and a bit of killing. Then, he said to the Dragon Abyss Jiao King, "Senior, do you dare to go with me to explore this secret realm? Explore the strength of the remaining demon cultivators of the so-called Yinzhu demon sect in the secret realm." When Longyun Jiao Wang saw Ling Qingsha at this time, the figure of Ling Pengyun inadvertently appeared in his mind. No, this person is more cruel than fellow Taoist Ling, and more cruel than the other Ling family giant fellows. He is a living killing god. After being distracted for a moment, it saw that Ling Qingsha's breath was a little weak due to the backlash of the contract, so it was a little worried. "Young friend, can you still fight in this situation?" Ling Qingsha did not answer. He walked to the pile of flesh and blood that Zhang Rinli and the other 5 demon cultivators had turned into, put all the flesh and blood into the storage bag, and pack up the property in it. He relied on the secret realm token that Zhang Rinli, the old demon, had just given him, and used a special method to hit the token. The token flashed in the air, and a crack appeared in the void of the island, which gradually expanded and turned into a black deep hole about 10 feet in size. "Senior, please go first." Ling Qingsha looked at the Dragon Abyss Dragon King and said, "Okay." Seeing Ling Qingsha's insistence, the Dragon Abyss Dragon King did not say much. It had no objection to entering the secret realm first. After all, it was stronger than Ling Qingsha, so it should be the first to enter and take the lead. Immediately, it rushed into the dark deep hole. Ling Qingsha followed closely behind. After a dizzy spell, Ling Qingsha opened his eyes and found that he was in a place he had never been to before. There was a magnificent mountain gate not far in front of him. But at this moment, he heard the roar of many formations being activated. Buzz! Buzz! The light of the formations suddenly appeared in the deep ground around him, turning into several light curtains that trapped the enemy and enveloped him and the Dragon Abyss Dragon King beside him. Various attack formations also appeared, and the grades were at least 3. These formations also suddenly transformed into attack formations and were launched. The face of the Dragon Abyss Dragon King changed drastically, and he immediately fled in front of Ling Qingsha. When he followed Ling Qingsha to leave the Ling family, he saw with his own eyes that Ling Pengyun handed the only remaining token to open the White Shadow secret realm to Ling Qingsha, and gave him the method to open the secret realm. If Ling Qingsha died here, even if the Dragon Abyss Dragon King could get the token, he would eventually have to find Ling Pengyun to get the special method to open the White Shadow secret realm. But Ling Qingsha died in front of him, so how could Ling Pengyun take him back to the White Shadow secret realm? Under such circumstances, he attached great importance to Ling Qingsha's life. Then, the Dragon Abyss Dragon King summoned out Thousand Flowing Water, one of the 2 prototypes of spiritual treasures. Thousand Flowing Water also turned into a round cover, covering the Dragon Abyss Dragon King himself and Ling Qingsha. Many of the attacking formations were also blocked by the Thousand Flowing Water. After Jin Liushu was bombarded, only a few ripples appeared on the cover it turned into. This is also the strength of the mimicry magic weapons such as Jin Liushu. This mimicry magic weapon can be used as an attack or defense, and it can also be used to trap the enemy, with many wonderful uses. At this time, Ling Qingsha used a pupil technique to discover many cultivators hiding in the glorious mountain gate not far away. A rough look showed that there were probably thousands of them. But they were all demon cultivators. Their cultivation was not weak either. All of them had a cultivation of more than the middle stage of key training, and only some young cultivators were only in the early stage of key training. There were also more than 10 giant and demon cultivators, but there was no giant and perfect demon cultivator. The strongest among them was only an old giant and 9th level demon cultivator who had exhausted his potential. But the cultivation of these cultivators was not the focus. The main reason is that the arrays set up by this group of cultivators are extremely powerful. Even the old giant and 9th level magic cultivator presided over the arrangement of a quasi 4th level magic array, which is extremely powerful. Ling Qingsha frowned slightly and called out to Longyun Jiao and beside him decisively. This kind of strength is beyond our ability to fight. Senior Longyun, retreat. This time they came in to explore the strength level of the remaining cultivators of the Yinzhu sect in the secret realm. Now that they have found out and know that they cannot deal with it, he naturally will not waste time here. As for alerting the enemy, he has never thought about it. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.